listening to the Michael Papinchak Show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. It's TMPS, I believe, 122. And we have Jason here and also Chris, who he is a new friend of ours from the Scranton area, right?
Yes, yep.
And how long have you been in the Pittsburgh area now?
Oh, not even 2 months.
Not even 2 months?
Yeah, just
Whoa.
about, yeah.
We searched far and wide
Yes.
to find a Scranton friend.
Yeah, and
Because we're men of the people,
yes.
and we went to Scranton
Yeah.
to find Chris.
Yes.
Yes.
It was like the Bachelorette.
Yeah.
I was homeless, digging through the trash.
Yeah.
These nice gentlemen in an S550 came and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
you should come with us and be our friend in Pittsburgh." And
Yeah.
that's the end of the story.
Yes. And that's how it went down.
Well, so we became fast friends because of two common interests: cars and luxury timepieces. And so that's what we're here to talk about today. And Jason has brought some Cuervo Isobrinoses. I brought out my Cuervos Humidor.
What are you wearing?
I'm actually not wearing anything.
So we're going to have a watch podcast.
I forgot to put on a watch.
You're not going to wear a watch.
I forgot to put on a watch.
That's Mickey Mouse.
I forgot to put on a watch. But they're literally in the next room. So all 50 of them.
Oh, my goodness.
So what prompted us to do this show is... Wow, that is so. We I am drinking a Jefferson's Manhattan, and what are you drinking?
I'm drinking just Basil Hayden.
Basil Hayden, and so this is like a pre-mixed Manhattan, and I think I need to get a little water in there. It's a little strong.
That's okay.
That's how it's meant to be.
You see, Mike has the good ice, too. You know, he has the ice maker.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
I did notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
And, yeah.
so
This is a high quality space.
It is, yeah.
So Kona is trying to get situated as usual. There she is.
Okay.
She is part of the show. So what prompted us to do this is last year I picked up and we all recently within the last 12 months picked up a Rolex.
Yes.
And you just got a Submariner.
Yep.
And you wanted to talk about ADs, Rolex, and what's going on with the watch market.
Yeah.
So I thought, let's get started. Now, my thing is I went and I wanted to get a Datejust. And I built it with the lady on the Rolex website.
Yep.
And I said, order me that.
Mm-hmm.
And she said 3 months, maybe. And it came in 30 days. And I didn't care. I was going to buy it no matter what. So if it was 3 months or 6 months, I just said, call me. You know, I don't need it. It's not like for a present or something or graduation. It's just for me.
Right. You just want a Rolex.
So I just want one. But it only took 30 days. And what was your story?
Yeah. So I went into, well, obviously I'm new to the area. So I went to the AD downtown in Squirrel Hill, and
Okay.
I said I was interested. You know, I told them about my current watch collection. I told them I'm a big Tudor fan.
Yes.
And mostly my argument was, you know, as ignorant as it was, my argument was that you don't need a Rolex if you have a Tudor. I always thought Tudor made, they make a phenomenal timepiece. I love their watches. I've owned several at this point. And she said, well, have you ever tried a Rolex? I said, you know, my father owns one. I've worn his. I helped him pick his out. I know the story. I said, my problem with Rolex, though, is I don't like to play the waiting games. I'm not trying to play games with people to buy my watch. I want to see it. I want to buy it. If I like it, if I don't, I'll move on. Well, she said, let me, you know, and so she had me trying on different things. And sure enough, the Submariner date stuck with me pretty well. I did like that. And I had my heart kind of set on an Explorer 2, the Polar White. I think we're on the 216570 or whatever the reference number is now.
Sure. It is incredible how guys can talk about reference numbers. Like I'm not.
We're getting there.
I mean, I think I got the Casio GA2100 because that's so easy.
Yep.
Now they're actually with the 2110. Now there's actually GBs. But anyway.
Well, there are certain things about reference now. I mean, not to go too tangential here, but there are certain things about reference numbers that make a lot of sense that would make sense if you're a car guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if a Rolex reference number ends in a 0, it's made of oyster steel.
Oh.
Right? So, like, they do stuff that makes a lot of sense.
It's just not random,
right.
Because like VIN numbers,
correct.
Those letters have meaning,
and they do, yeah. And the reference numbers are just like that. So the reference number for this Submariner date is 126610 LN, and LN stands for Lunette Noir,
okay,
which means like a black bezel, right? So that's what the LN stands for. So they all do kind of make sense, and that's how they like. You get better if you actually own the watch, which is why I don't know many reference numbers because I haven't owned a lot of them. So like,
sure,
it just depends. But once you own it, you're like, oh, I get this.
Yeah.
And you start memorizing movement numbers. Like this is the 3235.
Is caliber and movement the same thing?
They're interchangeable.
Interchangeable, yeah. Because like I go on these websites and it's like, you know, lug width and diameter, and then it's like caliber, and then or it says movement sometimes. And
you say caliber if you own a Mercedes, and you say movement if you own a Ram truck.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So my new Cartier Santos Blue Dial has a caliber.
Correct.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. All right.
So, so back to the story. So it was a Thursday when I went in. I guess they clearly saw me as an enthusiast, right?
Sure.
And not someone that was just going to buy it and sell it 10 seconds later. And she said, well, what do you? So I had the Submariner date on, and then actually a Datejust. I think that we're Datejust 41. Now we're on. It was blue dial and the Roman numerals, which I really liked. And she said, well, which one do you like best? I said, you know what? I like the Submariner. I said, well, what can you do for like an Air King? That was the first thing I actually asked for.
Sure,
and then I explored.
Big fan of the Air King.
I like the new Air King. I like the symmetry on the dial. I don't like the crown guards.
Yeah.
But I can put up with them because, honestly, I mean, the crown guards look fine on the Submariner. How much different are they going to look on the... And I know it's what's supposed to be a pilot's watch. Pilots' watches typically don't have crown guards.
Yeah, dive watches have crown guards.
Right. So, but I think really what the point is, I think there's a reason that Rolex did this. How many people use Rolex watches for their purpose?
They don't.
So just like, and this is, so I thought about this actually. And if you've noticed, the new generation of the G-Wagon went from a solid front axle to a split front axle. Now that makes it terrible for off-road, right? We know we've kind of accepted that a solid front axle is what you want for off-roading.
Sure.
And that's been parroted as the best luxurious off-road vehicle.
Yeah.
But Mercedes said to themselves at some point, we need to be practical about this, but because a split front axle has better ride quality. And so they switched it out. And, you know, of course, the enthusiasts who will never own one ever in their life, and even if they did, they wouldn't off-road it, were very upset. And everybody who buys one says, wow, the ride quality is so much better.
Yeah.
I think Rolex is doing the same thing. I think Rolex said, we've made sort of a pilot's watch or an homage to, you know, piloting, and we're still into that phase. But let's face it, people need the practicality of their crown not being destroyed if they hit it against something.
I see here. I see the crown guards here. I'm on the Rolex website.
Yeah, and the 05 was a great addition to the Air King. In my opinion, that was the thing that always put me off from the Air King, was it only had a 5 on the dial, and it was very awkward in terms of design symmetry.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I think that was a very good choice by Rolex, and I think it was a practical choice, just like Mercedes made the G-Wagon different because, you know, they were willing to sacrifice its quote-unquote capability, or what people would use it for in theory, for what people use it for in actuality.
Yeah, I've never seen one like in the woods or climbing like a mountain.
Correct, and you won't.
Yeah.
You might see somebody with pictures on Instagram that somebody took, but to be honest with you, the people that have the kind of money to off-road those vehicles probably, like, you know, they typically have like the older generation.
Yeah.
They have a brand new one sitting in the garage that's never
I
been
mean,
off-road.
if you were going to buy a vehicle to do serious off-roading, what would you get? A G-Wagon, a Land Rover,
like new or
just in general? I mean, wouldn't you get like a Toyota something?
It's a tough choice. I mean, I do like the Land Cruiser is a great car. The Defender's a great choice. I think the new Defenders are a little garish in terms of design, but that's kind of where Land Rover has gone. Which, like, you know, that's a personal,
you know, because, you know, I was selling Volvos, but it's the same building.
Yes.
The other side has the Jags and the Rovers.
Yeah.
And they're like very electronically complicated luxury vehicles.
Yeah.
And the fact that this would be trying to climb up a rocky thing. It just didn't really make any sense to me that someone would actually spend this much money on this vehicle and then go, get it all muddied up and stuff.
And the Brits have a lot of good things to say about Land Rovers.
Yeah.
But that's because they can get it fixed in their backyard.
Yeah.
Whereas in the United States, you can't, right?
Yeah.
But Joe Schmo mechanic in the US can fix a Land Cruiser. So personally, I would probably go with the Land Cruiser. Or I also do like the Forerunners. I think those are great cars. I think they're a little expensive.
They're underpowered.
And they're underpowered.
Well,
it needs a turbo.
That can be remedied. With that can be remedied.
We're going to take it down to the corner there. We're going to put a little hickey in there and a hickey in there, and we're going to get this thing souped up and going.
Yeah, you can open that thing up. There's no problem. You know what? Manufacturers damp those things down.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, I was talking to another Chris who sells cars, and he was telling me that Lexus is going to get rid of that V6 and then go to V4s and stuff, and
V4.
There's no more V8s.
It's a rare engine.
I don't know.
Lancia Fulvia. That's the first one that comes to mind. From
V4.
Yeah.
Well, it's all about fuel economy, and they're even F1 cars are turbos now. You know what I mean? It's all
1.6 liter.
Yeah.
Turbos.
Which is impressive that they can squeeze over 1,000 horsepower out of a shoebox for an engine.
Yeah.
I mean, really. Like they used to be big into 3-liter V10s, I guess they had before that,
they had
right?
12s, then they went to 8s, then they went to 10s.
Yep.
Yeah, which I like the 10s. The Cosworth V10, that was a good sound. Jaguar. Yeah. That was a Jaguar Formula 1 team.
Yeah. Well, hey, I got to tell you, I have the F1 TV app, right? So, because I don't have cable, and really the only thing I watch that would be on TV would be F1 races. So I'm not going to have cable. So instead of paying $100 a month for cable, I pay $100 per year and have full access to F1 TV.
Yeah, I have that.
And I was watching. So I was born in 1984. So I was watching the 1984 season. Now they don't have every single race. What they have is just like a 10, 11 minute race like
a highlight
thing for each race. Yeah. And I was telling Jason, I was like, dude, there are so many DNFs. Such horrible reliability problems.
Yes.
And he was like, well, they don't have these power units. They just have an engine, so it's actually less complicated. But in a way, these F1 cars, famous, reliability has always been an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching one race. I mean, there were maybe, there were more teams. There were more cars back then.
Yeah.
You have 6, 7, 8, 10 cars just not working. I mean, Nigel Mansell, his car was on fire. And he literally was telling the marshals, would you and he grabbed the fire extinguisher and put out his own car. The marshals were just completely oblivious.
Formula One has dramatically evolved over the years. So I think nowadays we know who Lewis Hamilton is, obviously. And most people who have ever interacted with Lewis Hamilton in social media knows who Lewis Hamilton is.
Sure, yeah.
However, that's pretty much the only quote unquote celebrity in Formula One right now.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
But in the 90s, the 80s, everyone knew who Michael Schumacher was.
Yeah.
We knew Nigel Mansell. James Hunt was big, people knew Formula One drivers.
Yeah.
Well,
you know what I was doing? I was sending Jason pictures of these 1980s drivers with their big mustaches and receding hairlines, and now we have Lando Norris, who looks like he's 12.
Right.
It's they were very manly, and there were these hot women around, and it was this kind of more James Bondish kind of vibe around. F1 drivers were.
It was a romantic time.
Yeah, it was a different era,
and now it's overregulated, and when you have overregulation, you have to walk around in fire retardant suits instead of bikinis.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So
that's true.
It's not as fun.
I mean, you really can't have women in bikinis down
cars were on fire and girls were in bikinis next to them.
Yeah, exactly.
You're what's going on?
The starting line looked a lot like the Tokyo Drift movie.
F1 races looked like Miami Vice.
Yes.
Every race.
Yeah.
And now
and that was also Senna's first season, so I kind of wanted to see.
Right,
he had one podium. It was all about Prost and Niki Lauda. Those were the the Max and Leclerc, Verstappen and Leclerc,
right.
they were the ones, and they were on the same team. They were the ones fighting for the championship. And Lauda won by 0.5 points.
Well, what's changed,
half a point.
I think the most in Formula One is the regulation. You're talking about it's over-regulated. I agree, because at one point in time, we could expect to see something like a 6-wheeled car come out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, which has happened. And that is kind of an oddly beautiful thing. Not the six-wheeled... not the 6-wheel car, but the concept of at any moment...
Innovation.
Someone can break out something that is totally shocking to the world that they've never seen before. The Cvt transmission is a great example of that. Started in Formula One in, I believe, the 80s. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
But it was banned for being too good because the transmission was never in the wrong gear. Yeah. Now we have them in, any run-of-the-mill economy car has a
Civic.
And we hate it. And we hate it.
Okay, so...
so...
In my Lexus... In the F Sport, so a common Lexus will have Eco, Normal, and Sport mode.
Correct.
The F Sport has a Sport Plus.
Yep.
And I heard another Lexus salesperson say that the transmission moves into that kind of transmission when you're in Sport Plus. Now, I did not know that.
Really?
Also, Justin Mocha said, "Bunch of Burt Reynolds driving fast, fucking cars."
Yeah. Justin, huh?
We got to get him back in the fold.
Yeah, we need to have a more Tom Selleck vibe.
Yeah,
the mustache and the
maybe I'll go down.
The shorts with like the palm trees on them and shit like that.
Yeah,
we need to start dressing like that. Unbuttoned our shirts, Tommy Bahama style.
You've already started on the. You got the watch already ready for the outfit. That looks like the perfect watch to wear. With
we can wear. Yeah, so this is a little. This is
okay.
A little bit of a vibe.
It can be classy or it can be fruity. Either way,
exactly
that watch is very versatile.
So how long did it take for your sub to get in?
Yeah, I know we've kind of
that's how the show works.
I love it. It took I went in on a Thursday and the following Monday they called me. They said we have a sub date for you, and which I was shocked because normally if someone comes in and has never purchased a Rolex before. They usually give you a sub no date,
especially
or maybe they'll give you an OP 30 or we're
a
not
green dial Oyster Perpetual.
Yeah,
like some Mickey Mouse.
Exactly. Some stuff that nobody wants, and they're like, "Oh, we could sell it." And no, but sure enough, they said they had a sub date for me, and I picked it up on that Wednesday. So in a matter of 6 days, I ordered and purchased a Rolex.
Now, do you think they had it at the other store?
No, because I'd been to the Sewickley location. So the Sewickley location, they had my Zin U1 was in for repairs.
I should have had you bring that. Totally. Well, here's the deal. First off, yes, I'm on Instagram Live here, but we need to do a YouTube video where we're showing watches.
Yes.
This is more of a discussion. Even if you brought it, no one can see it. So it doesn't really matter. So at some point, we're going to have to, not here, but either Jason has a big kitchen table, or maybe we can do it around mine, and I have the camera, and we should do a visual, like a YouTube show where we show some watches and talk about them and all of that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to bring that one in for you guys. Very unique. Yeah. I'm convinced I'm the only person in the United States with that particular model.
Oh, really?
The only reason it's not.
Where are those watches from?
So they are manufactured in Germany.
Okay.
Zin is a German watch brand.
Okay.
However, this particular model is, I'm going to butcher the name because I'm terrible with my German, but it's from a jeweler called Giulia Roberto.
Okay.
And they are based out of Germany.
Okay.
They sell Zin watches in their boutique. And what they did was they had Zin build 50 totally green Zin watches. So it was a green dial, green rubber bracelet. The green rubber bracelet's actually available through Zin's website, but the green dial is not. It's totally green dial, and it has actually the insignia for the jeweler underneath the date window. And it's they only made 50 of them, and I have number 13 of 50. And I'm not a superstitious guy, but it did break. So I do have to. But they are numbered. And I mean, I don't know how valuable of a watch it's going to be in the future. Really, I bought it because I didn't have any green watches, and I knew I wanted a Zin U1, and 2 and 2 came together at the perfect time on Chrono 24. So I did order it from Germany, from somebody else who bought it from the jeweler. It's very hard to find online.
Oh, wow. So you like blew it out.
Yeah, I wanted something special. I like to have things that belong in your collection, like a Casio F91W.
Yeah.
If you don't have one, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Or the Casio World Time, which I also love.
Yeah.
Again, it's, for both those watches, you're going to spend $40.
Exactly.
And they are cool anywhere you go.
It's like a horology thing. Like, you know.
You have to have those in your collection.
Yeah.
But I also, if I'm going to buy something a little bit more high end, I want to have something sort of unique.
Yeah.
And so I went with, like, for example, when I bought my first Tudor, I went with the Black Bay Bronze.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you about that watch. So when we met, you were wearing that watch, and at first, I just had never I didn't even know they used bronze to make cases. I had no idea.
Yeah, they actually had a boutique edition that they came out with when they unveiled. So when they unveiled the Black Bay Bronze, which is a 43 millimeter case, so it actually has its own movement.
Okay.
Because it's the MT5601. And if you're familiar with the traditional Black Bay line, it's an MT5602.
Okay.
The 01 just means it's a little bit bigger because they made a 43 millimeter case versus the Black Bays, which are, I think the Black Bay 58s are 39 millimeter cases. So it's a much larger case. But when they unveiled it, they actually unveiled a Black Bay 58 bronze boutique edition. And it was a full bronze case and a full bronze bracelet, which is very rare. You don't see that very often.
Wow.
But it's a different type of bronze. So it's aluminized bronze.
Okay.
So traditional bronze, if you've ever seen like the Panerai, I think they made the Luminor and the Radiomir. Either one, they made them in bronze at one point. Oris was popular with the bronze. Like Oris actually makes quite a few of the Diver 65s. They call them the cotton candies. They have the Diver 65 and the full bronze case bracelet, colorful dial. Kind of a neat watch. I like Oris.
I do too.
Oris is a good brand. Oris is a great brand.
I want that square Oris, like the Reverso, or where it's all blue.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
You know what I'm talking about? They have red, blue, yellow. So if you look up Oris, I don't know what it's called. But I really want the blue one.
I had an Oris Aquas GMT for a very brief period. It was the whale shark edition.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the watch. It just wasn't totally my flavor. My problem with Oris is I like their watches, but not enough.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
They come, but I like the brand and I like what they like. I like that they talk about sustainability and they're serious about it. Like they have ocean plastic watches, but the dial's made of ocean plastic, not like that cheap Tom Ford crap that they make the case out of it and they charge you like $600 or whatever those things are.
It is literally called the Oris Rectangular.
Yeah,
Oris Rectangular. Okay.
And it has that like Reverso look, but it obviously doesn't flip.
Oh, that's not bad. Here's one for you. Have you ever seen Hamilton has an American classic? They have a bunch of American classic, but they have, I think it's called the Ardmore, if I'm not mistaken, and that's a square watch. They have a ladies Ardmore quartz. I know that. That's a square
Ardmore
one.
quartz. Yeah,
but I think they have a men's version of that as well. But I might be mistaken.
So I have never been into angular watches. I like my watches to be round.
Yeah.
But recently, ever since seeing that Cartier Santos blue dial, I've been I've been opening up my And because of being a big F1 fan, I definitely want to get a Tag Heuer Monaco at some point. I
gotta tell you, I had a Tag Heuer Monaco on at a Tag Heuer dealer.
Sure.
I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. And I know this is going to be another controversial opinion. I also don't like the Daytona.
Ooh.
Oh, the Daytona doesn't do much for me either.
The reason I don't like the Daytona, have you ever noticed that the registers at the 3 and 9 o'clock positions don't line up with 3 and 9?
Yes.
Because the movement they use, these are some fun facts for you. So the movement that they use in that watch and the case size that they use, which is still 39 millimeters, I believe, doesn't allow them to properly line up the sub-registers. So they don't line up to the 3 and 9. It bothers me for some weird reason. But even worse, So do you remember that Rolex used to use the El Primero movement from Zenith for a long time?
Yeah.
If you notice, all the hash marks in the minute track are in it's in a division of 5. Okay. Because the Zenith movement used to beat 5 beats per second. That was the beat rate. So it could stop evenly on all of those hash marks. However, Rolex's new movement beats at the Swiss standard, which is 8 beats per second. So it can't actually stop evenly on all of the sub hash marks in between the minute track.
So it's more cosmetic.
Correct.
Right.
Which it's to be like a throwback. But to me, my question is, why is the Daytona so popular? If there are so many better chronographs, I mean, the Black Bay chronograph is a phenomenal piece of gear. I'm not a big I know you're a big chronograph guy.
Yeah.
I'm not huge on the chronographs. I do like the Bull of a Mooner Pilot. Big fan of that. It scratched my quote unquote moonwatch itch.
Yeah.
I wanted a moonwatch, and I was in the market.
I will get a moon swatch if I have to fly to Honolulu to the swatch store to get one, because I want to review.
There's one in King of Prussia.
Well, I called them, and so I called King of Prussia swatch store.
Yeah,
and the automated message was, "Thank you for calling the King of Prussia swatch store. We do not have any moon swatches."
Yeah,
like do not if you're calling about the moon swatch, hang up. Like that's basically what
it
said.
So I've got 2 good questions for you guys, and one of them pertains to this particular phenomenon, and the other one pertains to Rolex in general. So the first question I have for you guys that I'd love to hear your opinion on: is Omega copying Rolex, or are they turning into Rolex? Because now you're getting to the point where you call your swatch dealer, for crying out loud, and they don't have your watch in. But if you went in there, I'm sure, and you bought a few other swatches, we just happen to have one here in the drawer.
Well, my thing is this: I want the Neptune. I don't want the moon one.
I want the Mars.
Yeah, I want the Neptune because I will eventually own
that Neptune is nice. You mean the Tiffany blue?
Oh yeah, right.
Or no, no, that's the Neptune. I saw people on Chrono 24 selling those off, I kid you not.
Yeah.
As Omega Swatch Tiffany blue chronograph for the highest one I saw, and this is not a joke, $11,000.
Okay,
I don't know if it's still up.
That is ridiculous, because when I went on Chrono 24, and I looked up the moon swatch. So let's look up Omega Neptune. I don't know how to spell Neptune, apparently. So it's a $260 watch.
Yes.
$1,942. Yeah. $1,456. $1,834. $1,618. This one's price on request.
Yeah, price on request for a $260 watch.
Moon swatch mission to Neptune, $3,215.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
It's a $260 watch.
This is the worst phenomenon of the watch culture. Is not just, I mean, we can get into like the flipping, which I'm kind of wishy-washy on flipping. But
according to Chrono 24, I can make $3,000 by selling my Rolex. It's gone up $3,000.
You ready for this one? Chrono 24 says I can make $8,000 if I sold my Rolex Submariner date right now.
Yeah. And that's what they're doing.
It'll never go away. I mean, how do you sell your first Rolex?
No.
You know what I mean? Like that's.
Listen, I sold my first shotgun and I regret it.
Yeah, because
I traded it on something else.
You go to bed, you wake up in a cold sweat.
I regret that. I would. It was a $500 because I was just starting, and I'm not going to listen. Guns are just like anything,
right?
Yeah,
you can spend $500 or $5,000 or $50,000 or $500,000. If you go to the Beretta store on Madison Avenue, up to the 3rd floor, and they got a matched pair for $250,000. Because it's made of like wood from the last tree of its kind or some shit. Yeah, you know what I mean?
They have some interesting shotguns out there. I'm trying to think of the name of the brand, but they make it. They're handmade shotguns, but they're made. They're a pair of shotguns. You have to buy them in a pair.
Yeah, it's a match
because
pair.
They're bird guns.
Yeah, they're bird guns. Yeah.
And they're exactly the same.
Yep.
But they're like, for a set.
Is like the Holland and Cherry.
Oh yeah, I mean there are.
I'm trying to think of that. There's probably multiple brands that do this.
Yeah.
I'm not as well versed. Like I own guns. I shoot guns. I've grown up with them.
Yeah.
But I don't know as much. That's not where my expertise lies.
Yeah.
But I know I've seen sets of them go for like 15, 20 grand.
Yeah. So basically there's two kinds of bird shooting. Generally there are driven shoots, and then there's the kind where you have a dog and you're just out in the woods, and they, so when you have a driven shoot, you have a matched pair.
Correct.
Because these birds, it's like it's raining birds.
Well, you have 4 shots, and if you know your gun, you want a second gun that you also know.
So
it makes a lot of sense.
While you're shooting, so the sky's full of birds, right?
Right.
While you're shooting your one gun, someone's reloading your second, and then you hand them off. So you're continuously shooting. So that's what a matched pair is for.
Right. And I think I think it makes a lot of sense, and I get it. But for 15, 20 grand, that's not for me.
I mean,
it's for somebody. It's not for me.
So, but the Beretta store had a matched pair in a glass case for $250,000.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and actually, the guy said that's a Donald Trump kind of purchase.
That is.
Now, this was years before he ran for office.
That is.
But
funny.
the idea is, this is what billionaires come in and buy this kind of shit. So, Purdy.
Yeah.
Purdy is a
that's the brand.
Yeah, Purdy.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's a real
I found
real high end.
That's so. But this is my other question for you guys, because I know we're kind of we're talking about the topic of value and all that stuff.
Yeah,
flipping is a popular thing for people to do with watches now.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I think first of all, I mean, no matter what happens in the market, I truly think that the days of walking into a Rolex authorized dealer and buying a brand new watch from the case, I believe those days are gone. I don't think those are ever coming back. I think the demand for Rolex is always going to be there.
Yeah.
However, I don't necessarily know that they don't have any in stock. I think they do. This is
and they're hiding
this
inventory?
is my theory. Well, I don't think they're necessarily hiding it. They are. This is like Ferrari, right?
Yeah.
If you or I walked into a Ferrari dealership and asked for something new, cash in hand, they'd be like, "Who are you?
Yeah,
Go
exactly.
away." Right?
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah, I was watching a video. Jay Leno was talking about that's why he doesn't own a Ferrari.
Which is incredible to me.
Because back
if there's
in the
anybody
day,
that should own one.
Back in the day, I don't know when the day was, he went to a Ferrari dealership and he wanted a certain Ferrari.
Yep.
And they said, you have to own these two before you could own that one.
Well, it was like that stupid game that Ford played when they made the GT, which is hilarious. Because,
and Jay Leno said, screw you, and he went and he bought a McLaren.
Right.
And it's like, this is Jay Leno. This isn't some Mickey Mouse guy.
Yeah.
But Ferrari's Ferrari.
So this brings me to my point. If we're under the assumption that there are tons of people out there trying to flip these watches and they're looking for them at retail and they can build a network and they can go get these watches at retail and they will flip them for their value, Rolex is clearly trying to control that with their authorized dealers. This is not a mystery. There is no way that I walked in there as a guy who they don't know, who's never purchased anything from them, and they said that guy gets one. But the guy that we've had, I spoke to another gentleman who's a regular buyer from Rolex authorized dealers around here, and he has bought tons of things from them, but he still can't get a Daytona. Okay, now I know a Submariner date and a Daytona are there's degrees of separation there. However, he's a regular buyer.
Yeah.
So my question is, if this is true, or I guess my real question is, do you think it's Rolex's responsibility to try to police flipping? Or do you think it's just a thing that or do you think
it's the ADs? The Rolex is putting in the AD's hands to control the flipping.
But do you think they should be doing that? Because this is what ends up happening, is because they're supposed to control the buyer. Now they're saying, well, now a lot of ADs will make you buy other things, or you have to develop the relationship. It's now become Ferrari, right? Is that a good thing? And do you think that they should be policing this kind of activity, or do you think that it should just be, because now what's happened is, if you're trying to buy a $10,000 watch, one person's $10,000 is more valuable than someone else's $10,000, particularly when it comes to frequent buyers. And my problem with this, and this is my theory, and I'd like to hear, what you guys have to say on this, but they care a lot about what the new buyer's doing.
Mm-hmm.
They care a lot about somebody coming in.
They're
and
qualifying.
If they're gonna,
Yeah, they qualify you big time. Yeah.
However, if you've been buying from them and you've been buying tons of jewelry from them, watches and all this crap, they don't care. You could buy the next one and flip it, and they don't care. So the flippers are still there. The flippers are still there. The flippers are the guys with lots of money that can afford to buy 4 or 5 of them at one time, and they get rid of them. But the AD doesn't care because they've been buying from them for years and all this good stuff.
Well, listen, this is interesting because, it's kind of like, Land Rover, how they have to police people who buy them and then ship them to make profit. They ship them to China or something. So I guess Rover has a big issue with that. At least that's what I heard when I was working. I'm in that building. But it's like, at the end of the day, Rolex is still selling watches. I mean, obviously, I don't know who's going in and buying 4 at one time. That's obviously suspicious.
Well, no, but that's the thing, though.
They're still selling it.
You and I couldn't do that because we don't have the relationship. We haven't bought hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of watches from these ADs.
Yeah.
But it's happening. There's no way that somebody's buying one at a time and making a business out of it and flipping them.
Yeah, I don't believe that's true. I don't really know. I mean,
so when we were there,
yeah,
she said something very curious, not curious, interesting.
Okay.
What was that?
So when we were there picking up your Cartier, or I'm not picking it, ordering it. I'm sorry. She said we are more concerned with, because I brought you up.
Okay.
Because I said, hey, I just want to let you know he's new to the area. He's really happy with his experience. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
blah,
and
blah, blah,
I think they treated me great.
Yeah.
Okay, and she said, yeah, that's really great and whatnot, and then proceeded to say we are more concerned with having somebody local to the area that's going to keep their watch.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Rather than flip it and then I'll never see them again.
But this is well.
Okay, so that could be true because it's like as a car dealership, we want as many plate frames on the road as possible, right?
Sure.
It's the same idea.
Yeah.
They want to say, oh, hey, I really like your sub date. Where did you get it? And then you say wherever you got it, right?
Yeah.
So they want that referral like in your mind. That's free advertising for them.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, they say that on one hand, but in my opinion, they have a Skydweller like locked up in the back.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think they have it. Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, when we were there, look, I think it's when we were there and looking at the Cartier Blue Dial.
Mm-hmm.
What did she do? She went to the back and said, "I have something to show you."
Right.
So this,
and she had this Cartier,
she had the skeleton Santos,
the $30,000.
We tried it on.
Yeah, $30,000.
Why wasn't I invited to this shindig?
Well, you're too busy, meeting your girlfriend's dad.
That's funny.
He's got one of those fiancés.
Oh man,
more important things to do.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. But,
let have that on the record. I was not invited. To
here we go. Okay.
Let's put that. No. So this is my theory. So have you noticed? This is something that I noticed. So I saw somebody that posted this video on YouTube. I don't know if they were like well followed or anything. I didn't really look into their channel, but they were like shocked to see that there were working exhibition models, and they made this big video about it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, did you know Rolex has?" Yeah, they started doing that,
but they're not serial,
which is not a big. So
they're not serialed.
Oh yeah, they.
Have you looked?
Yes.
Okay.
I tried one on.
Because this is what I'm thinking. So when I went to buy my Tudor Black Bay bronze, this was during the pandemic, so they didn't. All of their watches were non-working exhibition models. You remember they did that for a while. Okay. They had these. They were real. They were weighted. They said, and they were real cases.
Yeah.
But there was no active movement inside of it, which seems strange to me. That you can make the whole case that's made of rare earth materials, but you can't make the movement. I don't know anything about making a watch, so I'm not here to criticize.
That seems weird.
However,
that's like, here's a car. It doesn't have an engine in it, but it's just for you to like look at.
And you know what they said? And this is the thing. They said they had a lot of shipping issues. They had a lot of those kind of issues. Like, that's why this backup came, and now really you have to order a Rolex. Like, I know that was kind of a thing for Daytonas for a long time, but you could walk in at some point, like pre-pandemic, and buy an Oyster Perpetual.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, then you couldn't during the pandemic, and I understand all the shipping errors and stuff like that. But however, I think Rolex has fixed that issue. I don't believe a company as big as Rolex hasn't figured that out. But I think they're playing it because people were still buying their stuff. And now they figured out, well, we can play the exclusive, like we can play the Patek Philippe and the AP game now, even with quote unquote cheaper watches. I don't want to say cheaper because obviously they're still
Rolex isn't
ridiculously-
Ferrari. No matter
Right.
no matter how much they want you to think that they are, Rolexes are still made on an assembly line.
Well,
They're a Toyota.
hang on though. Are they? This is another good question for you. Are they not? Because here's where Ferrari stands. Ferrari is the reason that the sports car is cool. Ferrari is the reason that people buy McLarens. Ferrari is the reason that McLaren started becoming a auto
Ferrari's the
manufacturer,
reason
right?
Lamborghini exists.
Correct.
I agree.
So, but that's what I'm saying. So Rolex is the reason
Yeah, they're the ones that jump in the pool first.
that people
They make the wave.
Well, and that's why people wear watches so much. That's why the culture is alive because of Rolex. Now, I don't think Rolex makes the best watch in the world. Although,
Right.
however, I will say after wearing a Submariner date for the last couple weeks here, it's worth the price. I can see why it's so expensive. And to be honest with
They
you,
have a good value.
it's a bargain. Realistically, I mean, I know this is a stretch because again, they're 10 grand, but for what it's competing against, they're not competing against Longines or they're not competing against IWC. They're competing against AP. They're competing against Vacheron Constantin because like the overseas is $22,000
Yeah, it's
at its
unbelievable.
cheapest, which is it's still a great watch.
Yeah.
But for 10 grand, you can get something that actually does compete with the quality.
Yeah.
And that's where people kind of lose touch with that, you know. But still, I do think Rolex and Ferrari are much the same. They are brands that maybe don't make the best car because McLaren makes a better car than Ferrari in terms of in terms of on
Engineering.
a sheet of paper,
Engineering, yes.
They are phenomenal cars. They by far and away blow away the competition. But people still buy Ferraris in droves. Why?
Because you want a Ferrari.
Right.
Right.
Because the culture's there, the branding is there. That's where Rolex came in too.
Yeah. Most people say, well, if you just bought a nice watch, they assume it's a Kleenex.
Yeah.
yeah.
So Rolex is brilliant at marketing.
Sure.
They're branding geniuses.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you watch, like I'm a tennis fan, right?
Yep.
You watch Wimbledon, and they have this Federer commercial, and he's wearing the Jubilee Datejust.
Yep.
Yep.
And you're like, you know nothing about watches.
Well, that's
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
average guy. He's just watching Wimbledon and watching a match, right?
Yeah.
Between two no-name guys, and there's Federer with 20 majors, and he's lifting a trophy with a Datejust.
Plus, they have the Rolex crown
Right.
thing
Yeah,
plastered everywhere.
Well, that's the.
And you're like, holy
Formula
shit.
One.
Yeah.
Look at Formula One. All
Yeah.
these other watch brands are like, oh, we'll sponsor a car, and
Yeah.
Rolex says, screw it, we'll sponsor the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like
We'll literally
Yeah.
sponsor
everything.
F1.
Yeah.
And you
Le
know,
Mans, everything.
Yeah.
and it's by no mistake. I mean, it's the same thing. I bet you Ferrari and Rolex are two of the most recognizable brands in the world, and for people that, like you said, don't know a lick about watches or
Yeah.
they don't know a lick about cars,
They're like, oh my god, I need one of those.
they want all
Before
they
I
know.
had a Rolex, I was
Yeah.
watching. I'm like, man, they really know how to stir emotion.
Yeah.
They know how to capture
Yeah,
an emotion. That is marketing
and it
101.
Well, hey, I mean, we were talking earlier about how much you want the Mercedes F1
IWC.
the IWC.
very
but,
very cool watch.
But
Yeah.
but like if IWC didn't sponsor the team specifically, he'd have Lewis Hamilton would have Rolexes on.
He still does. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen him off season? He has a chocolate dial Daytona.
Yeah.
There you go.
and,
But
and a John
it's-
Mayer.
it-
And
big-
he has a John Mayer.
Yep. Yeah. Well, John Mayer has quite the. I'm not a huge John Mayer fan, but his watch collection is serious.
Yeah.
Same thing with Ed Sheeran.
You know what I love about the internets and like YouTube. Who was it? Aziz Ansari?
Yeah, that's the one I sent you.
Yeah, like
It's a-
Great video.
like people that he's a stand-up comedian.
yeah.
Nothing about him says luxury or Not like, okay, let's just Donald Trump, because that's who like pops in my mind. You know, this billionaire kind of figure who's wearing a day date Rolex, like $50,000 watch, and has airplanes and stuff. You know, that's who you think would have like a watch like collection, right?
Yeah.
Aziz Ansari, some stand-up comedian guy, Parks and Recreation. He has this phenomenal watch collection. You just never know out there.
I haven't seen his.
Yeah, who have these like crazy watch collections. And Mario Andretti, that one I liked a lot.
That was a great video.
Because, watch manufacturers have been sponsoring Formula One forever, and most of his watches were because he won races, and whatever watch company was on the side of his car gave him a watch.
Which that's a sweet deal. Because not for nothing, IWC makes a great watch. They do, but they're not Richard Mille in terms of like money. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of funny when you drive for Mercedes, you get a custom built IWC, which is cool. I mean, I'm sure that thing's worth like 50, 60 grand, whatever.
Yeah. But if you drive a Ferrari,
you get Kimi Räikkönen. What is the Kimi Räikkönen Richard Mille watches go for like 2.3 mil?
Yeah.
Like, and he's got one for free. So not for nothing, but I think you want to be. And who's the other? I don't know. They sponsor a couple teams now.
Yeah. Well, I know Charles Leclerc.
They sponsor Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
So, and Alfa Romeo's kind of up and coming. They seem to be, getting better as a team.
Well, yeah. Any of the Ferrari engine teams have got Haas, Alfa, Ferrari, obviously. Right. The new, they figured out the new regulations. They're kind of starting out this new regulation how Mercedes did the last. I mean, obviously, we're only a few races in here. It's not like,
Yeah, it's not set in stone.
So, who knows? But right now, the Ferrari seems to be the team that has figured out.
Yeah.
And so all of their customer teams have also benefited from their engine.
The engine seems to be better, which there's another example of over-regulating.
Yeah,
they regulate the fuel flow, so Ferrari had that cheater fuel flow.
So I called Mike the other day, and we are talking about. So I went and tried on a Speedmaster last Saturday.
Okay, which one?
The moon one.
The traditional. Okay.
Hasselite.
Yep.
And then I've been watching videos and researching. And, there's a lot of talk about these moon swatches, right?
Yep.
So you said something about Omega copying Rolex and whatnot.
Yeah.
So the argument was, and I think we talked about that on the phone, was somebody was like, I'll never buy an Omega now. They cheapened the brand. And then the other guy's response was like, dude, it's literally doing the opposite.
Yeah.
It's now giving awareness to people who are into now watches, and it gives... The Omega Moonwatch is not something they could aspire to own.
Yeah, it's a $6,000.
Well,
it's a $7,000 piece.
It's the whole point of Rolex investing more time and energy into Tudor.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're taking enthusiasts. Because that's why I got hooked on Tudor, because it was a true enthusiast brand. I was impressed by what you could get for the amount of money.
Yes.
The Black Bay 58 was, as near as makes no difference, a sub no date, and you could get it for. Right now you could buy one in Chrono 24 for like $3,000. That's impressive.
Yeah, I got to tell you, when we were there looking at the Cartier, Jason, or we were hanging out around the IWC counter.
Yeah.
And they have bronze case watches as well.
Well, one was just released like the day before.
Yeah, and I'm like, I have to have a bronze case watch, and whether it's this IWC or a Tudor. It just is so cool to me. Here
was my issue. I loved it today.
Yeah.
The day I tried it on, I was like, oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Then, she's like, it's going to change colors.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
Am I going to like it in 2 years?
So this is why I recommend Tudor, because Tudor has aluminized bronze. I talked about this a little bit before.
Oh, okay.
What this means is, so Panerai made a bronze watch, Oris made a watch. Now they age, but then they turn green a little bit. You see that greening.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly, Tudor won't do that because it's aluminized, so it'll turn gray. And that's why I picked the gray dial. Not a lot of people picked the gray dial. A lot of people went with the Bucherer, had the blue color that you could get, which I thought was nice. And then the boutique edition was a brown dial. I picked the gray because I like the way it would age into the dial. That's what I was looking for.
Oh,
yeah, because
because
the case is gonna age gray. The dial might as well be that sunburst gray. It makes a lot of sense. but it does age gray. Now, I've only had mine for just shy of a year, and so it's aged. I mean, you could definitely see the patina on it, which I really, really like, because I like that. I like the way a watch ages. I like that kind of stuff. And that's why I picked that watch. Again, I could have picked a lot of Tudors. I picked that one particularly because it was unique, and it would continue to become unique, right? My patina is not going to look like anyone else's patina.
Yeah.
Supposedly they won't turn green, but also Tudor fed to the ADs that they would hardly change at all. But mine dramatically changed from when I bought it. I mean, when mine bought it, when I bought mine, it was gorgeous. It was exactly like you would expect to see it. It was, polished bronze. And they said you can put clear nail polish on, and it would solve that problem. Or they have like different waxes that you can put on there that'll get rid of that'll prevent the patina. I wanted it personally, so I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
But you can do that. So, which is hilarious that you buy like a $4,200 watch.
Cuervo came out with
nail polish on it.
the Paradas, if you remember those with the bronze.
Oh, yeah?
Years ago.
Huh.
Many, many years ago.
I don't know how I was never aware of bronze.
And I was like,
I've
wow.
never come across
and
it.
I remember Jim.
Yeah.
He was like, this is the first company to do bronze. He's like, every company's going to have a bronze watch.
Yeah.
And not everyone does.
Well,
but
he called it a little bit. It became something.
A lot
I'll
of
never
companies
forget
do.
that. Yeah, and I'm like, it's not bad. And then, I was looking at the Tudors because really.
Yeah.
And they are impressive.
They're very. Hey, when I was there getting the new straps for my Shinola, I was while she was switching, because I got the new Shinola straps are quick change.
Yep.
But the one I had on was not, so she had to go in the back and take it off.
You got to get your own strap tool.
Well, I mean,
$200.
Yeah, I mean,
you got
she did it.
I would say Vacheron has I think that's how you pronounce it.
I brought
has a great strap tool.
I have a couple, but I brought this one.
Yeah.
No. Vacheron has they're like tweezers.
Yeah.
That you pull.
And what?
I have a whole watch repair kit, like a whole I can do.
Did you get that one from Teddy Balthazar?
No,
or whatever.
No.
Okay.
But I
knew he had.
I can take the backs off of watches and do all kind of stuff.
Oh, see, I can't do.
But
that. Yeah.
I was there, so she obviously was going to do it for me.
Yeah,
but,
you might as well.
But the new Shinola straps are all quick release now, and I'm telling you, even the Cartier has their own quick switch it, and it's like the new thing. I mean, you can get a Shinola watch, get 2 more straps, and you have 3 different watches. I mean, that orange rubber strap on that Shinola, it's a brand new watch.
I will say, biggest pet peeve from Rolex, no drilled lugs. Not one of their watches has drilled lugs. And enthusiasts do buy their watches at some point. And so, I kind of found it funny that with the Air King, they put on crown guards for convenience, but they didn't put drilled lugs on it. No one has drilled lugs. Tudor, they do. My Black Bay Bronze has drilled lugs. Why don't they put them on? It's very simple because, they're Rolex and they're like, oh, why would anyone want to change out from the oyster bracelet? And I actually did that. So this was pre the Bergeron tweezers there that I have. I bought a cheap set because you can't change the Rolex strap without one.
Okay.
Or I have the oyster steel bracelets. So there are these very little grooves in there to access the spring bars. You have to have a tool to do it. So I bought a cheap one on Amazon. You know what they say, buy cheap, buy twice.
Yep.
So I bought this one, and sure enough, it worked taking the bracelet off, and then it broke.
Yeah. So now you can't get the other one on?
No, so I had a NATO on my Submariner for a little bit.
Okay.
Because I had a single or like the traditional G10 NATO or whatever they call it. And I had it on there. It looked really good, but I kind of wanted my oyster steel bracelet back on because I really love this the glide lock system that they came up with.
Yes.
Genius.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to do this.
Yeah.
But
it's my only complaint with the Speedmaster.
That they don't have one?
It's not adjustable. There's only
micro adjustments?
One setting, one hole.
So you got to take links out.
Really?
You got to take the links.
You got to take the links out.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
It's a real big oversight.
Tudor did that. No, so it's funny. When I was, literally as I was paying for my Submariner, I had another authorized dealer call me that I ordered a Black Bay Pro through on the bracelet. And I had to pass it up because I was like, I don't really know if I want to spend this much money.
Yeah,
in one day.
totally, yeah.
Like, so
This is an expensive hobby.
Yeah, it is, and it's
And I'm a shotgun enthusiast. You know how expensive
Oh my
like,
gosh,
I
yeah.
want to get. I really want to get a Kohler trap
Try
gun.
owning a Ferrari.
Well, yeah. No, I understand.
Well, you have a Maserati. You're getting close.
Yeah, but like,
the maintenance bill is.
but the thing
Yeah,
is, like,
they're similar.
listen, I have 50 watches now, but I don't have 50 cars. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
a little, you know, but like, you know, this Kohler trap gun that I want is like 15 grand.
Yeah.
You know, so that's another Rolex, or
Yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean? And
That's
but I've always wanted a Kohler. They're made in the United States, and they're great shotguns. And I'm not a big trap shooter, but my main gun's a Krieghoff K80 skeet gun, and it's only 20-inch barrel, and it just does not shoot trap very well.
yeah.
And I don't like going to the club and taking 5 shotguns. I just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's cumbersome.
yeah, so, you know, I take my skeet gun, and if people want to shoot trap, I just change the chokes, and I I still do pretty well, but
Right.
if I had a trap gun with a long barrel and they're designed for the game,
I have a couple of those.
I would just
Trap
shoot
guns,
just better. And you can say, listen, the gun doesn't make you a better shooter, but when you have a gun that's set up for a certain game, it just gives you that little bit
it's
extra.
just like a car,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
you can. I mean, the car doesn't make you a great driver,
Right.
but if you have a Miata and your skills far exceed that of a Miata, you're gonna need a better car.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
and it's not like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's not to rag on the Miata at all. Or, you know,
Yeah.
it's a great car, but it can only do so much.
Yeah,
At
but
some point, you're gonna
you know,
need to step up.
But my first $500 shotgun, I knew would
Yeah.
only get me so far.
Right.
Eventually, I had
Your
to
skills
go and
will
spend
yeah.
3 to 4 grand on a Beretta, and
Mhm.
then I eventually spent even more on a Krieghoff, which is like among like the top.
Which this is the nice thing about the watch hobby. I just ordered Casio F91W.
Yeah, it was what?
Because I haven't had.
It's like $20 or $15 or something.
12.
$12, yeah,
For an F91W, for like the Casio World Time was like 20.
yeah.
That scratches the new watch itch,
Oh yeah, Oh,
right?
yeah.
So like you
have a god tier watch.
yeah, I mean
You have a
that's
classic
right.
timepiece.
That's right. Well, and not to
God,
mention,
here's the best.
Yeah, yeah. For $12, you have god tier.
yeah, and it's cool anywhere you go.
Yeah,
Like if you're
Yeah.
with other watch enthusiasts, someone wearing a Daytona's can be like, "I love your Casio,"
yeah,
because that's
Yeah.
where you know the culture lies. Sometimes you can buy a Lunar Pilot instead of a Speedmaster, and what
Yeah.
I like about having the Lunar Pilot is now when you have a conversation with somebody, they're like, "Oh, is that a Speedmaster?" No, it's a Lunar Pilot, but there's some history to that. Let me talk to you about it.
it also went to the moon.
It's
yeah.
more of an interesting conversation, I
Yeah.
think, personally. So that's the nice part about watches that you don't necessarily get with cars.
Yeah,
You can't buy a car for $50 and scratch the itch of getting a new car.
that's true. That's very
You
true.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
You buy you spend $50 in spark plugs and that might be,
Yeah.
it might get half your engine.
Well, you gotta buy a car, and the right car scratches the itch forever.
That's
well,
true.
okay,
that is
okay.
true.
Yeah, that is.
Well, I mean, the
that-
right watch could scratch the itch
Yeah.
forever. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
You're right. Yeah.
if
Yeah.
if I had a 5711 tomorrow,
Oh, that was I was
you know,
I was just gonna say
5980.
Yeah,
That's
so-
that's
yeah.
my
yeah
like absolute. I would, if I had a 5980, I would quit.
yeah
That's
so
it.
yeah
It'd be I'll never buy another watch.
I'm very happy without a Patek. I want
Okay.
a Vacheron 1921.
listen
That is
Yeah.
the watch.
that is
Yeah.
a beautiful
Yes.
piece. That's the one that's like the
Angled.
cushion case that's
Yeah.
angled.
yeah
That's a cool watch.
yeah
That's the move with
Have
the
you
red
seen
band.
Have you seen their new 222? They released the VC 222.
Oh,
It's
is
like
that the perpetual calendar?
no. It's
Oh.
just a 3-hand watch, but it's a throwback. Check this thing out. It's full yellow gold.
All
I
right,
think
what
it's
is it?
technically a champagne dial. It's the Vacheron Constantin 222. Yeah, check that out. It's an homage to like their. I think they
What
had a
collection?
222 years ago.
What collection is it under?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know their website very well.
you
I'm
know
not on Vacheron's website.
No.
I'm not, I don't have.
I'm
I
on
don't
a
have-
daily.
I don't have Vacheron I don't have Vacheron money, so I'm not there yet.
I've been seeing a lot of YouTube videos about the watch market I'm crashing.
That's just content.
Yeah,
It's not.
But
as
you
long
know,
as 80s
Here.
keep holding
222. This is what it looks like. Yeah.
5711. Let's see how much a 5711 is, guys. Blue,
Too much.
It's a manual one.
blue dial. It's got to be a blue dial. 179,670. 160,000. 230,000.
Tell me that's not a classy
That's the new
watch.
one.
That's the brand new one. Yeah.
Really?
Tell me that's not a classy looking watch. It's not even a 3-hand watch. I totally lied to you. It doesn't have a second hand.
Wait a minute. This one is 1.2 million.
For what?
A Patek Philippe Nautilus 5711 a /1A-014 1.2 million.
Come on.
Is it because it's like in the box?
It's amazing.
Oh my god! I think this might have never been worn. It's like in plastic. It's in the box.
Well, every 5711 has been worn. It's just the same thing with a Daytona. No Daytona has ever been worn. That's what. That's why they can get away with not letting the sub registers line up with 3 and 9
There's the
because nobody
platinum.
wears it.
With the blue, that's amazing.
I like the brown better actually.
Well,
But that looks good. I like that. Yeah, I mean, Vacheron Constantin. This is kind of back to the discussion about Rolex and the fact that there's a line out the door to get every watch they ever made. If the world was right, there'd be a line out the door to get every JLC watch ever made.
oh yeah, no, totally.
Because JLC
totally.
is the greatest watch company in the world,
Yeah.
bar none.
So
we talked about that 2 days ago.
So when you go down to Oars and you go to the Rolex counter, they have 10 watches, but they have like 50 slots, and you can't even buy those 10 because they're the exhibition
they're all
ones.
the exhibition models.
And then you go over to
the JLC,
and you can buy 10 Reversos. They're sitting there,
which is
right
again,
in the case.
If there was any justice
for
in the world,
$12,000,
guys,
any justice in the world,
it's the best watch in the world.
There's this person named Hilda. Hi, Hilda, if you're watching.
Hilda.
Hello, Hilda.
Who keeps requesting to be part of the live stream.
Does Hilda work at an AD?
Is this
Facts.
a catfish?
Hilda. I think it's a catfish.
Hello, catfish.
I'm gonna go live with the Hilda.
Okay, let's see.
Let's see if Hilda wants to go live,
it's
guys.
Probably a guy.
I'm talking to a catfish right now, guys.
Conan's
Check
jealous.
this out.
I'm talking to a catfish right now, a girl from Japan, and I put that in quotes. I mean,
oh okay.
Yeah. And we're I think we're having a really nice, so if you're on WhatsApp, these Asian girls will message you.
Yeah.
My name's Michael.
Sure.
She goes, "Hey Jackson, is this you? I don't think I typed the right number." Well, my name's not Jackson.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, "Hey, I'm not Jackson, but how's it going?" And we started chatting. We were having a really nice conversation. She's from Japan. She's in New York City. Oh, I used to live in New York City. And she goes, "You're really nice. Here's my personal number. Text me on this." So the number. Why would you say that, Hilda? Are you a catfish?
Oh my god.
He's put her
It's
live.
probably like the nicest person.
I know.
ever.
I am.
Yeah, it's either one of the two. It's either
Yeah.
either a catfish or someone who
Yeah.
is like the nicest person
She's
ever.
gonna be like, I was your teacher in elementary school. I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oops.
So anyway, the number that this Asian girl
Yeah.
texted me and first was a +31 country code, which is Holland.
Okay.
Then her personal number was a 630, which is Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know who this person is, but we have really nice conversations.
You're having a good time. That's what matters. So I got a good story.
So
for
she
you.
hasn't asked me for a money yet.
Not one money.
Not one.
That's
Not
crazy.
one money.
Not one money. That's
she
crazy.
hasn't asked me for any money yet.
So I gotta tell you, this is a good story for you guys. So probably one of the most intelligent investors I know, got a text from some number and said, is this whomever? Right?
Yeah.
And he says, no, it's not whomever. And they said, oh, sorry, we're trying to reach out to him about an ETF investment opportunity.
Sure.
Electronic
Total
or
setup.
ETF
Total
electronic.
setup.
So I don't know enough about ETFs or NFTs or stuff.
No, I don't
I mean, I know enough to like.
I don't
know
do any of that stuff.
I know the basics.
Crypto and all that. I don't go anywhere near it.
Yeah, I'm like, I have like, I don't know, a couple $100 in each of them because who cares? Like,
Yeah.
but whatever.
I don't know enough
You
about
never
them.
know.
For you, I mean, it's who cares? But
Yeah.
for the rest of us commoners,
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know anything about that.
For us bush leaguers.
Yeah.
So he got this text and he said, well, so again, this is one of the most intelligent investors I know, one of the most intelligent people I know in general. Very commonsensical, very like, aware.
logical.
Yeah, and he was like, okay, so what's the opportunity? And sure enough, they talked to him about it and they said, hey, you can open this account, we can like double your money, whatever, and all this stuff. Well, he invests in it. 25 grand he put down, okay? And they like triple his money.
Yeah.
He can see this little account. He can see his current account. And so I don't know all of the details, but let's kind of broaden it out. Basically, he keeps investing more and more money because he has to get to certain thresholds and stuff like that. And eventually he's got an account that's like $1 million or $2 million or whatever, how much he invested in this thing and how much it's I think it's showing that he has like 46 million. He invested $1 million. He had $46 million in the account. Okay. This was after almost a year. Tries to withdraw some of the money. It's totally fake.
Yeah.
He lost $1 million. And that's not a,
It was
not a random
It was
figure.
like Bernie Madoff shit.
That is
Yeah.
an actual number. It was a totally fake account. It was
They were just showing fake shit.
No, yeah.
And
it
he
was,
kept investing. So it was like
Yep.
it was a pyramid
And
scheme
again,
or a
this is-
Ponzi scheme.
And this is one of the most intelligent people I know. A guy who doesn't waste money whatsoever. Like, he will die with this high school lunch money.
This doesn't make any sense.
No, but he did it. And it's a true story, 100% real.
Oh my god.
It's incredible. And
Oh my God.
but you know what got him? I'm sure. I guess he did his research and he was like, "Oh no, totally legit." Yeah, lost $1
Was it like a
million.
boiler room type thing?
I mean, it might as
It
well
was
have
like
been.
Wolf of Wall
Yeah,
Street?
I mean, it was the most. I've never seen
Sophisticated.
anything like it.
Sophisticated scam.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's very sophisticated.
Well, guys, Jason and I, we've had similar conversations about the car industry. Will there ever be lots full of new cars?
Right.
Maybe, maybe not. Are they going to purposely hold back inventory? And it's the same in watches. Obviously, when you go to Oars, the IWC case is full. The Tudor case, even the Cartier case, JLC is full.
But here's the thing.
Tag Heuer's full.
They all say JLC, IWC, Cartier, as hot as Rolex.
But Rolex is Rolex. That's the point. It's different.
Rolex is better at branding.
It's different. Rolex
that's
is
different.
different.
That's where it comes from. Like you
Yeah.
aren't. Let's put it this way: if you posted your brand new Rolex on Instagram, people are gonna see you and think you're successful. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just kind of the knee-jerk
Yeah.
reaction we have to seeing a Rolex is, okay, they did something and they became successful.
Yeah.
Now, if you saw a JLC, the average person saw a JLC watch.
They don't know. They don't know what that
They have
is.
no clue what
They
that
have-
is.
they
It
have
just
no
looks nice to them. It could be it could be the same price range as Timex Weekender.
Exactly.
They have no idea.
They have no idea.
However,
They have no, I just ordered
is
a
a-
Timex Weekender. By the
But
way.
I buy
Good
watches
plan.
for me. I don't buy them for other people.
No,
And you
100%.
should, and you
100%.
should.
100%.
but the reason, but that's
But we're
Again,
talking from like
the-
a marketing branding
the
perspective.
reason why Rolex is so popular is because social media is popular, and
Exactly.
the same reason that social media is popular because so many people are doing things for someone else,
Mhm.
and Rolex has played into that. Ferrari has played into that, right?
Yeah.
Ferrari is the car for the successful man.
It's just so crazy to be there and see this beautiful Rolex display cases, and it's empty, and it's just bizarre.
They're just in the back.
But see, that's the thing.
That's
though.
what I'm saying. This is so. What I was saying though,
That's
when
the
they
thing.
transition to all of these exhibition models,
Yeah.
my theory is they figured out how to put a movement in a fake watch. Why can't they put movements in real ones? I really do think they have solved this problem.
Yeah,
I do. And
No,
I think,
so,
I
but-
think
but
now
this-
the ADs are choosy because now they have leverage that we do not as
Yeah,
buyers.
but-
It is a seller's market in pretty much everything right
but
now.
this is my thing. Honda could have the cars, but will they purposely hold them back? Like,
Yeah, but nobody cares. But that's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Somebody in the market for a Honda Civic, if they don't have a new Honda Civic, they're going to buy the Mazda 3.
well, okay, yeah, but so maybe but like, our car salesman, a Chris friend, is we were talking the other day. I was there getting service on my Lexus, and he was thinking that first off, the whole showroom was all used cars, which I was like, oh my god, you're right. It's usually the half of the one half is new, and then the other when I worked there, and the other half was used. Right now, it's all used cars.
Yep.
Basically, he said car salesmen are just going to be order takers. They're not going to have. It's going to be like a Tesla. You're not going to go and leave that day with a new car. It's going to be like an ordering thing.
Do you think that's permanent though?
I don't think so.
Because this is the reason that Rolex gets away with this is because they have the branding. So the market demand is out there.
Yeah.
Everyone wants a Rolex. And I mean everyone. Yeah. Even people who don't know anything or care anything about a watch.
They know
every single person wants a Rolex.
When they become the doctor, the lawyer, whatever, when they become a professional, they know when they go to meetings and they go to functions and they go to work, if they're wearing a Submariner or whatever, a Datejust, whatever, that is a status symbol.
Any professional, even people who are people that work anywhere, and do anything in their career, they want nice things when they can get them. And what's on their list is a Rolex. I bet, maybe not everyone, but I bet you at least 75% of people have Rolex at least in their atmosphere of things that they imagine themselves to have when
it's like that
successful.
Mercedes-Benz or BMW or something.
It's like driving a G-Wagon or an S-Class. It's like driving a new 488 or whatever they're on.
Yeah.
It's a lot like that. And that's why they can get away with, we don't have one. Or we only have one for someone we like.
Yeah.
I don't think Honda can get away with that. I don't think Toyota can get away with that because, again, the people that are in the market for a Camry don't really want a Camry. I mean, they want a Camry, but they're they can easily be convinced otherwise.
Well, they have a certain price point where they're at,
right? And that's great.
Yeah,
but that's a really, really competitive market. Well, if you go to the Toyota dealership, they don't have your Camry.
Cars, though, what's different about cars in regular people cars?
Sure,
not 488s and. Regular cars are driven by monthly payments. Not the price of the car.
100%.
Yeah, that's
So it's
You're
different.
Right
so we're talking about something completely different. So when you go buy a sub, the guy that's like, I can only afford a Civic, can't afford a Submariner.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
But the guy that is financing a new Land Cruiser or Tundra can absolutely stroke a check for a sub.
Okay.
So, here you're either using a firm or, 6 months, no interest.
Yeah.
Or you're just writing a check.
Yeah.
Or half down, half finance.
Yeah.
And then, or the car, you're like, I don't care what the rate is. Just get me to $279 a month.
Yeah, sure.
And tell me how much money I have to put down for 72 months.
Yep.
And then I'm out the door.
Yep.
And then they go to their manager. Okay, we could figure that out. You need $6,000 down, and we're at, 3.9. And off you go.
Yeah.
Beautiful. See you later. It's a pretty simple deal.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit different because you're spreading the payments out over time.
Yeah.
We were talking about a totally different clientele.
Yeah.
I mean, not even just necessarily a budget, but different mindset.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Nobody goes to a Toyota dealership excited. They're just looking for
that's not totally true.
Well, but I'm saying
it's a different emotion.
Maybe not excited. I'm saying that's excited is not the right term. What I'm saying is they don't.
It's their basic mode of transportation.
What they're looking for is, hey, utility. I can get a new car that gets me the same gas. Those are the people. Not for nothing. That market is interested in gas mileage. That market is interested in
reliability.
Right.
Price point.
When you get a Ferrari, they still put the gas mileage on the
by law. Well, by law.
Okay, so this is a great example of this. Ready, Jason?
If you're worried about gas mileage with your Ferrari,
you own a Ferrari.
Yeah.
What's it get miles per gallon?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not good.
Okay. Because it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Mike, you've got a Maserati. How many miles to the gallon?
I have no idea.
His engine's a liter and a half bigger than mine.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have a Viper truck.
Right. That's not good.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what it gets. 2?
Yeah.
I mean, like, really, like
Yeah.
that's so.
You
Again,
literally used a half tank to get here today.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. They're, like,
Oh yeah, I that's
'cause I know where you live.
filling up the SRT10 truck is
Painful.
right now it's $120.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
what the
filling
S-Class is.
up my normal truck, it's $91.
Well,
It's
Yeah.
crazy for 20 gallons.
Yeah.
20 gallons even is $91 this morning. Well, that's the thing. I filled up this morning, yesterday morning, this morning. Yesterday morning. I filled up yesterday morning. It was $4.60 something a gallon for regular.
Oop, I bumped my mic.
you okay?
I bumped my mic.
We're getting there.
Yeah, there we go.
So it was $4.60 a gallon. I went out to lunch with an agent, came back into town, and it was $4.70 a gallon already. It went up 10 cents in the
Wow.
matter of an afternoon. So
Dude, people are like requesting to be part of the live.
bring them in.
I don't even know who these people are.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, just bring them in.
Anyway, so we're now an hour and 17 minutes. So let's look at. Chris, we have told Chris about
Yes.
the Cuervo y Sobrinoses.
Do you have yours out?
Hold on.
He's got his box. He doesn't have anything on.
I don't have a
What-
watch on.
He
What
couldn't
is
even
this?
he couldn't even be bothered to put on the Pope's
Yeah,
Casio.
I didn't even put on the Pope's Casio.
Yeah.
This is Mickey Mouse. I'm Mickey.
What's going on?
I got a lot going on here. I got live. I got to monitor things.
Go get your F91W.
Get.
You know, what is this? I'm so unimpressed.
We had
What's going on?
yeah.
Anyway, it's just black. I don't know how to get out of this.
We had a plan to make a watch podcast,
So
and the host didn't wear a watch.
we'll go over these first because they're easy. And,
You gotta see this. Yeah.
So this is a retrograde date with a power reserve.
That's a, you're speaking my language.
So I like. I brought. I know nobody can see this, so it's kind of ridiculous to them. But so I like it because easy change. Okay. Yeah, of course. So
Yeah.
that one's a torpedo. So it's like
This is the new one, right?
No, that's my first
It's not
ever
running.
good watch. So that's like
that
you know
not
how we
running?
talked about don't regret selling like your first one.
Yeah.
That's my first one. I'm not
Okay.
ever gonna
Yeah.
get rid of that.
You-
So,
Does
so
this-
for those who don't know, Cuervo y Sobrinos is a Cuban watch manufacturer.
Swiss movement
Swiss movement, but it's a Cuban
heritage.
heritage.
It's an Art Deco, like throwback to the 50s,
That's cool.
30s to 50s
Mhm.
styling, and I like the. They're very comfortable.
I'm gonna go grab mine. Okay.
Please do.
Do these have hand winding capability?
Yes. So what I like about, so to me, a watch is all about the dial, right? It's
That's important.
gotta be
That is
comfortable.
100%
but
important.
aesthetically,
yeah.
if you look at a watch in a case and it doesn't
doesn't speak to you,
Yeah.
go buy it.
you're never gonna get it. But
Oh, this is your. Oh, so this is
Same
this
brand.
Is, this is a compressor case.
Yeah,
I didn't realize they made dive watches.
yeah. Isn't that beautiful?
That is gorgeous. I'll be honest. I've never so I watched his video on all the watches that he has.
Yes.
Saw your
Yeah.
Instagram post, and I was like, never seen. I don't even know what this brand is.
Yeah.
And then he was like, no, you got to check it out. And sure enough,
And
these are
under the right
gorgeous.
light, you can see how it's dimpled in the middle and then it's solid on the outside on that one.
Oh, okay.
That one is called. This is called the Torpedo. I like the lugs.
Yeah. So mine is called the.
that is-
So you notice there
Wow.
there are cigar names.
Yeah.
So mine is called the Robusto Buchador.
Right.
So a Robusto is a kind of cigar. I mean, well, it's
Torpedo,
they're
Esplendidos.
cigar sizes. Yeah.
That is a
What's nice about this is
ridiculous time.
I am not into jeweled watches at all. Not my thing.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, but that looks good.
My first watch was going to be a Tag Monza. Okay.
okay.
Unique case. Unique
Yeah,
shape.
yeah, it's different. yeah.
Caliber 36. Nice watch.
Are they cushion cases technically?
Yes,
What are they?
kind of
Yeah.
cushion.
Okay.
And then I left with this. The complete opposite
Yeah. Totally
of
different.
what I went
Yeah,
with
that is very
purpose.
different.
But I wear this with a black strap, you could wear this with. I know you're not supposed to wear a watch with a tuxedo, but you could wear this with a tuxedo, the black strap.
Oh, I
Yeah.
would wear a watch with a tuxedo.
Okay. Yeah.
Screw the norms.
Yeah. Exactly.
I got nice watches. I'm gonna wear them.
Listen,
Agreed.
is that
No matter
I
what I'm
mean,
wearing, I don't
well,
care.
I think the issue with the tuxedo and watches is the tuxedo is so dressy. Okay, guys, what does James Bond do? I think this should be. Does James Bond wear a watch when he has a tuxedo?
does
Yes.
what he does
Yeah,
what he
he wears.
wants.
But that's the thing. He wears a Seamaster. If you can pull off a Seamaster in a suit, you can wear anything.
Here,
Well, he's usually wearing like a khaki colored suit with a blue shirt.
I know
I'm-
that is a,
like in Maui or some bullshit.
well. So, but I will say the greatest James Bond ever wore a Rolex.
Mr.
Really?
Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Sean Connery.
Oh, he did because
Sean Connery wore a. Oh
No.
gosh, 5513.
Yeah.
all right. So
Maybe
here
5513. I think
here's Brosnan in a tuxedo wearing a watch.
he wears a
Now,
Speedmaster though,
I-
doesn't he?
I
Yes.
can't see
Brosnan?
what it is.
Brioni's in Omega.
Brightling snuck in there at one point too.
Yes, with
was-
Roger Moore, I believe.
Here he is.
Yeah, okay, that's who
Okay,
it was.
so
You're
here
right.
is Daniel Craig in a tuxedo, and he's got a watch on.
Omega Speedmaster.
But-
He's got a watch on.
That's a fictional character.
Yeah, but he's
just
still
saying.
James Bond, and I think if he can wear, but see, here's Sean Connery tuxedo holding a gun, but he doesn't have a watch on.
This is this is probably my favorite. It's a dual time.
Okay. Oh, I love a good GMT or
Yeah.
dual time function.
So
That's
this
good
is
stuff.
a dual time with a date, and this one I put the black strap on this one.
Now,
usually on this one.
did you get the new straps yet?
No.
Okay.
Because I'm asking him to
Wow.
replace this one. And you can see I sweat through it.
Yeah.
Actually at a Ferrari show.
That's
yeah.
Lambo show in Columbus.
Oh yeah.
You see I sweat and
Yeah.
I want to replace this.
This is a
And that's-
2800 beat rate too.
Yes,
that's
and
a good.
and
Yeah,
it-
So-
and it
that's a
has
nice
an
movement. And a
exhibition
big
back.
date.
Yeah.
The dual date there or whatever you call them.
Both of these have exhibition backs.
Yeah, I
yeah.
did notice that. That's a. I feel like that should be. That's another thing I don't like about Rolex is that they don't have any exhibition like
They don't
exhibition case models. Now, listen, I don't think all like the Submariner doesn't make a lot of sense to have an exhibition case back. It's a
Yeah.
dive watch. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't really.
care. This strap
need
is
one of it.
fantastic.
Well, I got to tell you, is that rubber
that's-
or is that leather? I cannot tell.
Might be a hybrid.
because it's stitched like leather, but it feels like rubber to me.
I really like it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
'Cause-
nice
'cause that's a
strap.
diving
That's what I
watch.
noticed. That same thing.
So-
And I love a compressor case. What's it?
it's a waterproof watch.
Longines makes the Legend Diver. Have you seen that watch?
No,
That's a compression style case as well. It's got
Yeah.
dual crown. So one of those crowns
It
controls the
spins-
watch. The other one
yeah.
controls the internal
Yeah.
dial. That's so Longines makes the Legend Diver, which does that as well.
so I'm going to
which
tell
I
you
like.
why I have that watch. I wanted a U-boat, so my mom and I go. There's a local watch dealer near us
Okay.
who used to have.
Well, he knows because that's where our meetings are.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
He used to carry
Fun stuff.
Ulysse,
Cool stuff,
Nardin,
yeah.
Cuervo,
all
U-boat,
kind of cool
Yeah.
stuff.
Bell and Ross, Romain Jerome.
Really cool stuff.
Yeah, really cool.
Now it's Mickey Mouse, but
Yeah. Mickey Mouse, he said.
I don't care.
no. So
Especially
anyway,
after what he did to me.
I wanted a U-boat.
Okay.
So
Cool
my
watch.
mom and I went to go look,
Yeah.
and I picked out a U-boat Classico,
Yeah.
just kind of like literally the classic, U-boat, right? And
Hence the
then
name.
he was like, they have a section of one of their cases for pre-owned watches. I don't like pre-owned watches. I don't like wearing someone else's
No?
watch.
Okay. I mean that.
Now here's
I get that,
the
yeah.
deal though. Obviously, if I want something like a Hulk or a Panda, like a 57, there might come a time where
You're gonna have
for
to
me
own.
to get
Yeah.
a Hulk, it might need to be pre-owned. But
Do you
I'm
like
ta-
the Hulk?
That's I want a Hulk.
Do you
really
like the
bad.
Hulk because it's a Hulk, or do you like the Hulk because it's ridiculously collectible?
It's called the Hulk, and I just want to watch Called the Hulk.
Okay.
I want to be able to say
that's
that I have
a whole
Hulk.
different answer, and I'm glad you gave it.
Yeah. I just want to be able to tell
I'm glad
people
you gave that answer.
that
Yeah.
as you can see, I'm a fan of comics.
Yeah,
books.
I like all the. I love it.
A lot of Superman and Batman and
Yeah,
you know.
the Invicta next to me is.
the Invicta Superman
ridiculous.
watch. Yeah,
I'm not an Invicta guy. I had one for I had a couple for a long time.
yeah.
But,
I only own it because it's Superman. I mean,
yeah,
I would never buy an Invicta
they are
otherwise.
display watches. You ever seen like I think they call them the Bolt Zeus Magnum.
No.
You ever seen these watches?
No, Invicta is ridiculous.
They are so large
Yeah,
that it makes diesel watches look tiny.
yeah. They're really nuts.
Or IWC for that matter, because IWC makes a fat watch.
Yeah.
Well, I have a flight deck U-boat,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
yeah, that
50
thing's big.
millimeter.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a
that's
20.
so.
I think it's 18 millimeter case.
You can like knock someone out
Yeah,
with that.
Yeah,
I've
that's
literally
thick.
hit somebody with it before.
Yeah, you have to like register that as like a weapon.
Yeah, it's bad. And you know what? It's
Yeah,
heavy.
that's a thick
Yeah.
watch.
Feel
Well,
it.
yeah, I remember. Yeah,
But anyway, so I'm getting the new U-boat Classico, and while I'm kind of standing there,
yeah,
there's that Cuervo is in the used section,
yep.
and I'm just kind of looking while he's getting the U-boat ready to go and all wrapped up and everything. And I was like, "What is this?" And he goes, "Well, that's a Cuervo," and he goes, "It's pre-owned," and then he said it comes in a humidor. And all, you know, he was telling me, and I said, well, that's kind of, so he brings out the humidor and everything.
Yeah.
He takes the watch out, and I could tell he said the guy never wore it. The guy bought it and then traded it in.
Yeah.
And I could tell just by looking at the watch, there were no creases in the band. Like, you can tell this guy.
Yeah, if you can tell easily with leather.
He
leather
never
bands, yeah.
wore.
Well, you can tell easily with bracelets, too.
Yeah.
You can see wear spots so easily. Yeah.
And then he brings out the humidor. And I love cigars. And my mom is like, do you want this one too? And it's not that expensive. That watch is not that expensive. I have the receipt. I can show you.
That's what I was going to ask
wasn't
you.
like
I know that's
expense.
rude to ask, but what do those things
No.
run? Because the new ones, they're like $5,000.
So
Yeah, they're between 3 and 10, depending on which one. Like the
Yeah.
Prada Cop, the bronze ones.
I swear to God, that was like $1,200.
Yeah. Oh, really?
No
that
kidding.
Was, well, it was pre-owned, so he
Yeah.
couldn't charge. Even if it wasn't worn, it's still pre-owned.
That's like I got to do that. I got to find like a
You know
pre-owned
what?
one of
When we're
those.
done, I'll show you
The
the
diamond
receipt.
one was close. It was like 85.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
there's 2 carats of
but if
diamonds in it.
I'm telling you though, if I had $8,500 right now, that Mercedes IWC is a good
Listen.
looking watch.
Oh.
And now I think they're 7,500
Listen,
or 7.
I was
they're
just
8,000.
I was just a boy. I was an inexperienced
Oh,
watch
okay.
collector. Okay, I was just a boy with
Well-
very gullible.
Can I tell you something that when
But
I
it struck me, like you said.
yeah
When you
it's
look
a
at
striking
something,
piece,
Yeah.
when you saw the Cartier
listen,
Santos,
I'm gonna tell you something.
You were like, listen,
Yeah.
wrap it up.
so basically I went
That's your
there.
favorite phrase.
I went there to
Yeah,
get.
oh, yeah.
I went there to get
I love
the
it.
Rolex Datejust, which is a very special watch to me for a lot of reasons, which we can talk about in
Yeah.
private. But when she showed me that Cartier with the blue dial, I knew I was going to own it. But I just spent 14 grand on a Rolex, so I just wasn't prepared for
Yeah.
that purchase at that point. But I think it is a special edition, but it's not like there's only 2 in the whole country or something. It felt like even if I waited a year.
Yeah.
And so almost a year later, I went and I bought it. And then when I went to get my Chanel straps, they had another one in the case. So this watch is attainable. I knew it wasn't like you're never going to see one like ever again.
To me, Cartiers are underpriced.
No, I
when I look at one,
Yeah.
I think that they're
You
like
think
triple
so?
the price, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I see this is where we might rub elbows a little bit here. So the Cartier tank must
Mhm.
is $4,200 for a quartz watch.
Quartz watch.
Now, listen, this is my problem with Grand Seiko. Okay,
Yeah,
I love Seiko. So if
People
if
who
you,
buy Grand Seikos need like waterboarded.
now listen, that's a strong opinion.
Yeah, I'm sorry because
Listen.
Like, send them to
Guys,
Guantanamo.
I can't wait to do the keyword tags for this YouTube video.
Waterboarding, Guantanamo Bay, Grand Seiko. That's so. No, listen, Seiko makes a phenomenal watch. I have an SPB 223, which I think is it's the Sharp Edge Series GMT. Mm-hmm. And now I think that watch is on par with Grand Seiko in terms of quality. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've looked at it through the jeweler's lube. And also, when I say on par with Grand Seiko quality, I mean it also has a shitty bracelet. Because Grand Seiko can't make a bracelet to save their lives. But they can make a watch. Their watches are well built.
Yeah,
and I think
Mr. Wonderful loves them.
I think, yeah.
Kevin O'Leary is like
he also loves red straps on every single watch.
Well, yeah, but
he's trying to be relatable.
But that's also for a Shark Tank.
He also someone asked him that question, like, what's your best value for under $1,000? And then he said the best value for any watch is a Grand Seiko. Yeah. Name a Grand Seiko you can buy for $1,000.
I don't even know.
First of all. Quality, best quality you can purchase under $1,000 is Hamilton.
Yeah. Yep.
There's no competition.
Yeah.
There are some Seikos. There are some Seikos in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
But as a brand, Hamilton takes the cake.
Yeah.
The Hamilton Khaki, which I know you have one, I have one.
Well,
I don't know, Jason, do you have one?
No, I'm just Mickey Mouse here.
Get on the train. Yeah,
he's
okay.
Getting there.
Get on the train. I'm telling you what, Hamilton Khaki is addicting. Yeah. That watch is awesome. So I have the titanium, so it has the exhibition case back.
Yeah.
I
think
it's
mine
PVD
does.
blasted.
I
it's
think
nice.
Mine does.
Do they all? I don't know if they do.
Yeah, I think mine does. Yeah. Well, I was at the Trudeau store in New York, the Time Machine store, right by it's in Trump Tower.
Yeah. Oh, Torno.
Yeah, a Torno.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell did I say?
You did.
A Trudeau. That's the Prime Minister of Canada.
Trudeau. Yeah, don't go to his store.
No.
Jeez.
And commie bastard. Anyway, I mean, if you're gonna be Fidel Castro's secret son, you might as well be Prime Minister.
That's right.
Like
he's definitely not. I don't know what you're talking about.
When they put a picture of him and Fidel next to you,
they're literally identical.
It's like, I'm sorry, but you are Fidel Castro's offspring.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
anyway,
first of all, Torno sucks.
Yeah. Well, so first
service wise, they are terrible.
Yeah. So I don't know, but when I lived in Manhattan, I would go down there.
Yeah.
As not only a huge Trump fan, but a huge watch fan.
Yep.
And, so before all the political stuff, you used to be able to go in Trump Tower and buy books and T-shirts and ties. And I bought, the white Make America Great Again hat, I bought that in Trump Tower.
There you go.
When he decided to run for president. And however. I was
going to say, I've never seen a white one.
Yeah. Well, first off, this was before the red one became like
a symbol.
A symbol. They had all different colors and stuff.
Well, if he used a white one, he'd be
white power. Yeah, it'd be exactly. So.
There's the answer.
And then red is the Republican, color.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So I bought that one in Trump Tower when he announced. Like the day after he announced he was running, I went right down and I bought that hat.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then they had to pull all the merchandise out of Trump Tower, so you couldn't buy his books or ties
right, because you couldn't even get in there. I remember when he was president in
oh my god
2017. I went there. You couldn't even get in. Yeah.
No. So like I was walking somewhere.
There were armed guards.
Yeah, I was
serious armed guards.
Listen, during his presidency, I was walking somewhere.
Yeah.
And in front of Trump Tower was a guard in a booth, and I said, "I'm just trying to get to," and they go, "Empty your." It was like the airport. Just to walk in front of Trump Tower, you had to go through like security. So I always walked on I didn't live anywhere near there, but when I was down there, I'd walk on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
But oh my god.
So you're in Torno.
Oh, so anyway, I forget why I was down there. I think it was a Sunday or Saturday, and I just wanted to go like look at watches, and I was like, "What is this? Is this an automatic watch?" I go, "Yeah, it's a Hamilton Khaki automatic." I said, "How much is it?" $500. I said, "Wrap it up." An automatic watch, $500.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
I said, "Wrap it up."
Not only is it $500 in an automatic watch, it's well built.
Yeah,
for $500.
It's a great watch.
Now I
have a new strap on it because I wear out leather straps because I sweat.
Their Khaki Field titanium comes on a hybrid strap. It comes on like a rubber hybrid strap, Highly recommend. I'll have to bring that in for you.
Is it rubber on the inside against your skin?
Yeah.
And then
it's
leather on the
actually
out?
so it might actually be entirely rubber, but it's kind of like a textured rubber. It looks neat. I'll bring it in for you guys sometime. But it's a cool watch. Now retail, they're like $1,000.
Okay.
If you go on Joma's shop, they're like $600.
Yeah.
And honestly, so I bought it on Joma's shop because I'm not going to pay $1,000 for a Hamilton.
Yeah.
Not that they're not good watches, but if I'm in the market for $1,000 watch, Hamilton's not the first brand I'm going to think of. But for $500 or $600 all day.
Sure. Yeah.
And Seiko makes a good watch. I think Seiko, like the Seiko 5 sports watches are great. They have like the I'm trying to think what the name of the movement is in that watch, but it's like, it's decent and like, it's great for the price, but Hamilton makes a great quality watch that competes with it punches far above its weight.
Yeah.
For $500. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hamilton. So to answer the question that was asked to Kevin
Mr.
O'Leary that couldn't answer it. For under $1,000, that, or have you ever heard of Wise watches?
No.
So they're out of Thailand? Question
Wise.
mark?
Here, let me look it up.
Yeah, Wise timepieces. So how about this? Okay.
Is it just like Wise, like WISE?
WISE. Yep. Now, you ready for this one? Do you know your stainless steels? So the standard, the industry standard for stainless steel in watches is 316L stainless steel, correct? If you know your Rolex steel,
904L.
correct. Wise makes all their watches from 904L stainless steel, which is impressive because they're $700.
Dude, this
Really?
watch is called
I kid you not.
This watch is called the Hitman.
Yep, they have the Hitman.
What?
They have no, I'm not kidding with you. They are 904L stainless steel, which I do have to say is a softer metal, so it scratches easier. But
this is on sale for $330. Blue bezel, blue dial, because you know me.
Yep.
It's gotta be blue.
Boom.
These are from Thailand?
Gotta be blue.
Lady boys?
Yeah, I think they're like.
Does it come with a ladyboy?
It does not.
Dude, that video, Jason.
Well, actually, I have no idea.
Jason sent me this video.
Oh, Jesus.
This guy is in Thailand talking to a ladyboy, and he goes, "You're such a lady," and he goes, "No, I'm a lady boy."
Yeah.
No,
openly.
you're such a beautiful lady. No, I'm a lady boy.
Full-
Like I have a penis. I'm like, what kind of video?
It was so funny.
Jason, like,
I was done.
what are you into?
I
man.
I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I want to know how you found that.
I don't know.
Oh, it's
Let's
just,
not get it. Yeah.
No, it's just it's on the TikTok and shit.
Okay, here's the Hitman I'm looking at. They're actually pretty good looking.
That's what I'm telling
it's
you.
automatic, 200 meters, $330 on sale.
Boom.
Wrap it up.
Tell me those aren't cool.
Wow, they're on sale.
I know. For under $1,000.
And look at the loom.
I know. So the loom is absolutely shocking.
Wait,
For the
the
price
loom
range.
on the
It's a
bezel
loom
as
bezel,
well.
correct? Yep. And
Really?
it's phenomenal loom. I actually watched a video on one of the reviews for their loom.
Customize your second hand?
Oh yeah,
What does that even mean?
Chris, who are you?
dude. Listen.
Wow, we're getting an education. Oh my God.
I don't know much, but I know my watches.
That's strong.
Wise watches.
I'm going to get one of
Yeah.
these.
$20 off your first order.
I'm
Yep.
getting one.
Let's just
Wrap
do
it up.
Let's all just buy one right now.
There you go. Deal.
Ooh, I like the rubber. Oh, look at this one.
Oh, you could have fun with this.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And it comes with two straps. Look at the box it comes in. Did you see the picture of the box?
I'm worried it's from Thailand, though. Like, why is it in Thailand?
Hey, I
I
mean,
know
you know.
you buy Seiko, they're from Japan.
Yeah, that's
a
true.
good point.
You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
Like you buy you ever had a Seagull? I have a Seagull 1963.
Oh,
So-
look at this one. Adamascus.
Oh, yes. That's their
That-
dive watch with the loom
Oh,
bezel.
look
Yeah.
at that dial. It's has a
Loom-
really cool dial.
And that loom is absolutely striking. for
Wow.
me.
That was how bright it looks.
Yeah.
on
Oh
that
yeah.
Photo.
Wow,
And
look
it
at that
lasts a long time
box.
too. Yeah.
Did you know that the Speedmaster has a loom disc underneath the dial? And that's why it's so bright? So the old ones just had the markers that had the loom.
Yeah.
Now
The
they're
3
cut out.
ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now there's a disc underneath, and that's why it's so
There's
bright.
a complicated reference number for Omegas.
Yeah.
You know how long Rolex or not Rolex, Omega reference numbers are? They're long. I don't even know them, but I know the movement in the original Omega Speedmasters was a 321.
Yeah.
But
And then it was the 1861. Now it's the 3861.
3861, yeah.
Right.
And then so this is actually back to the Moonwatch conversation. This is
Moonwatch.
interesting.
You know.
The Bulova Lunar Pilot. Do you know the
Yes.
history behind this watch?
I know
Yes.
that.
It's very interesting.
I know that it did go to the moon because
it was a prototype.
The Omega broke or something.
Yeah, so the glass came off of, I don't know his first name, Scott.
Yeah.
But it was he had an Omega Speedmaster because they were standard issue to the astronauts
Yes.
at the time. But he brought his as a personal item because he
Yeah.
brought some personal items. He brought a concept from Bulova, who competed in the same market, right? The Daytona also competed in that for the NASA thing. Well, the glass popped off of his Speedmaster, and so he brought out his own personal Bulova Lunar Pilot, which at the time, if you know now, they're powered by like some fancy quartz movement. At the time, they had a Valjoux 72 in them.
Okay.
But there are photographs of him on the moon wearing that Bulova Lunar Pilot. So it really is, and people like say, "Oh, it looks like a rip-off Speedmaster." No. That's what NASA wanted for their spec. That's why it looks the way it does.
Yeah.
It was meant to look that way.
It was meant to go to the moon.
There are plenty. I mean, like
It was a potential moon watch.
in the history of lunar watches, there are tons that look like that.
Yeah.
Concept wise,
Yeah.
right? Only 2 ever actually made it,
Yeah.
and Bulova's the other moon watch. And for $500,
Yeah. It's a
you
no-brainer.
can have exactly. And again, I know
My
it's
buddy
not the same
Anthony in LA
experience.
has a Bulova.
Yeah.
What's it? Lunar
Pilot.
Lunar Pilot.
Yeah. They're
Did,
worth.
did you like when we were at the thaw?
Yes.
Remember John that was sitting with us?
Yes. Yep.
That's so they went to school together.
Okay.
Like-
Oh, yeah, John.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Did you like his Speedmaster with the
Leather strap.
but it was brown with the white contrast stitch?
And I did like that.
I
yeah.
like that a lot.
I think that's so. I think everyone gets the moon watch with the bracelet because that's what's acceptable and that's the big thing. I do like the brown. I like when people kind of venture out. I like people that wear the dark side of the moon watches. I like people that wear the gray side of the moon. Like it's okay. Like
I need Snoopy.
Oh, he's Silver Snoopy.
oh my god, I want a Snoopy.
Silver
bad.
Snoopy.
Like that's
I
the
want a
move.
Snoopy bad.
But,
Yeah.
but because they're trading for more than a Vacheron 1921.
Yeah, it's
I'll
insane.
never own a Snoopy.
It's insane.
I just want a Snoopy because Snoopy goes over the moon on the
Yeah.
back. I think that's
It's unbelievable.
that is first
That's
of all,
so cool.
Yeah.
that's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
They use both sides to be a work of art,
You know,
which I
yeah.
like. You were saying like Rolex is boring in the back because
Yeah.
who cares? Nobody's gonna look at the back. Omega was like, no, when you're not wearing the watch, you can look at the back.
They are
you can enjoy
brushed
it.
in one direction on the case back on a Rolex. You ever seen that?
Really?
Yeah, if you notice, I'll show you mine. But
Well,
they're
yeah, please don't label yourself taking off your Submariner gate.
it's all anyway. I'm gonna ignore that one. It's brushed in one direction on the case back.
This is a beautiful watch.
It is a beautiful watch, and so this is the other
I
thing
feel
too.
incomplete.
No, what
I
are you
don't
talking
have a
about?
sub.
Get
Dude,
one.
this is-
So that is the Porsche 911.
You have a
of
date
He's
just.
watches.
going diving after we're done.
I know.
He's going to look for
It
manatees.
could be underwater.
That is the Porsche 911.
Oh, you're
of
right
watches.
about that. Yeah.
It is the industry standard. It is the yardstick to which every other watch is compared, whether it's the best or not. There are better
Yeah.
cars than the Porsche 911. Sorry to the Porsche fans out there, but it's true.
Thank you
Yeah.
for saying it.
Yeah.
Right? However,
You're right about. I never noticed this.
it's unidirectionally brushed. But those small little
Ah.
details. That is why this is always my thing. I said when I went into that AD for the first
Can I
time.
try this on?
Please, yeah. And
Oh, please. He's like, I'll just buy another one tomorrow.
Yeah.
Take it home with you. He's like, take it home.
It's a party gift.
I do like the clasp on the
and it adjusts.
It
It's a good
adjusts.
slide. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a huge
on
the
the Datejust. It doesn't have that double clasp.
Yeah. Oh, the oyster lock.
Yeah.
Rolex is obsessed with the term oyster, just like Pittsburgh
They
is
love
obsessed with the word beaver.
French fries.
Well, French fries. That's the other thing. Beaver. Everything's named Beaver. Beaver County. Beaver this. Beaver that.
Beaver?
And then city. You guys have a lot of cities. You have Elwood City. You have Grove City.
Yeah, we do.
You have Evans City.
Yeah.
You have city this, city that, and then run.
And then
You got Brady's run. You got Crow's run. You got this, that.
there's nothing run or city about that.
Yeah.
That's
See, it's
right.
funny
That
because
is
like
correct,
because we're like from here, I've
Yeah.
never even considered.
Well,
things.
I was up in Oil City.
You know what I mean?
Oil City, yeah.
Yeah, like 2-3 weeks ago.
Oil City. Shout out to Oil City on TMPSpodcast.com.
First of all,
And
not
right
only
here.
is there nothing city about it, there's nothing oil about it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how
This
it got
is
its name.
101.1 Oil City's top hits. The Drive at 5.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But it's no, but it's the small details like that actually make that watch worth the money.
Yeah.
And I know this is a common gripe with Rolex. It's like, oh, the watches are $10,000. Like you could buy you see a lot of videos out there, 10 alternatives to the Rolex Submariner,
Yeah.
and that's the thumbnail and everything like that. I genuinely believe there is no substitute for the Rolex Submariner. And the reason is because when you buy your alternative, when you buy your Casio Duro, because I have one
Yeah.
to scratch the same edge, when you buy your Tudor Black Bay 58,
Yeah.
because you want a Rolex Submariner alternative, the only thing you're going to think about is why didn't I buy a Submariner?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's close, and it does the same things, but not to the same degree. I really do think it is worth its weight in gold, and it makes a lot of sense that these things trade for ridiculous amounts of money.
This is really comfortable.
It is. It's the most comfortable bracelet. I will say the Jubilee bracelet, though, is very comfortable. I do like the Jubilee bracelet, but I like, certain things they did on the inside of the clasp. The metal is a lot smoother than you see on
Mike,
most
are you
bracelets.
Yeah, I was trying to look up the Casio Duro and I accidentally turned off my computer.
Well,
Oh, oops. That's a very big difference.
It's
of
now back on.
functions.
It's now back on.
How am I removing that?
So I apologize if a couple seconds of the show got not
I
recorded.
didn't want to be hard on
No,
it.
you're good.
Oh, this Casio Duro is a good looking watch.
Yeah, I have one on. I have that on that NATO that mine is on now.
It's a
I
good
actually
looking
had on my
watch.
Rolex for a little bit.
This
too.
is a great piece, and it's not too heavy.
No, it's not. It
Substantial.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow,
It's
60
substantial
bucks.
enough, but tell me what part of this watch doesn't make sense.
It all fits.
It was all function. You know what? I always said I thought it was funny that they put a Cyclops over the date because it ruins the glass, like the sapphire glass. It looks weird.
I like the Cyclops.
But to be honest with you, every time you look at the watch, you're like, the date actually looks like it's a proper
Yeah.
size. It's stupid little things that Rolex did
yeah.
that make a ton
At the
of
end
sense.
of the day, they add up.
It just
Yeah.
makes sense. It's a watch that makes sense. Everybody complained they went from a 40 millimeter to a 41 millimeter case. I
Okay.
personally like a 41 better than a 40, but that's just me. But it fits a wider variety of wrists.
I like
More
the-
people have a 41.
I actually like 43s too.
The Rolex Submariner,
Yeah.
the reference among divers' watches.
It is.
There's your watch flying through the screen right now. Let's configure a Rolex Submariner.
Yeah, so you know what? Another a dream watch of mine is to have the white gold Submariner with the blue bezel. That is a great looking piece. I really wish they made that in the steel
Well,
because I love the blue bezel.
okay.
Wow,
so
40 grand.
that's the one I really want.
Yeah.
$40,000.
It's white gold with
Yes.
the blue
Yeah.
bezel.
White
That
gold.
is
Yep.
gorgeous.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's all white gold. So yeah, you're right. It's 40 grand.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
But
insane.
what a stunner! It looks good, and
Yeah.
not. My only question is, why would you make a dive watch in a white gold?
Right.
Because no one's
First of all,
diving
if
with
that
it.
watch was released in stainless steel, there would be
Yeah, you
a
thought
run on AD.
you
thought
mean
you
with
thought-
the blue bezel?
You thought
oh,
the
yeah.
Kermit had a long line.
Yeah.
No. Well, I'm looking at a Kermit right now.
That's
Um,
no. That's the Sermit.
All right, let me ask you something.
Wait a minute. See, I'm always confused. What is a Kermit?
So a Kermit, pre-reference, so the 126610 is the reference number we're on for Submariners right now. Previously, it was the 116610. So the 116610 actually had an aluminum bezel insert
Yeah, and now they're ceramic.
and a 40 millimeter case. So now the 126610 has a ceramic bezel insert, and the green for the ceramic bezel insert is slightly darker. So people call it the Starbucks, which is silly. I just like a lot of enthusiasts call it the Sermit, the
Okay.
ceramic Kermit.
See, that's a
So-
lot of if you hardcore Omega guys.
Yeah.
They wanted the updated Speedmaster to have a ceramic bezel, and it doesn't.
Right.
And I'm like, well, that's just a difference.
Yeah.
It's not like a reason not to buy the watch.
The only thing that they need to bring back permanently on the Omega Speedmaster, two things. First of all, the broad arrow. I love the broad arrow hour hand. That should be synonymous with Omega Speedmaster. That should be the trademark.
Arrow. Matt wants a broad arrow.
The other thing that they need to bring back is the dot over 90. I know
they did.
No, but they only brought it back on like that stupid that ridiculously expensive one.
No, they didn't. It's on the new one.
Oh, they bring it back. Okay.
The 3861.
All right. So I changed my mind. The broad arrow though. I do think the broad arrow should be the signature. It should be like Rolex's Mercedes hand.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I didn't think I was going to be a huge fan of the snowflake hand on the Tudor, but I almost like the snowflake hand better than the Mercedes. Because I've now seen Tudor Submariners with the snowflake hands, and I think they look really spectacular.
I like this GMT Master 2 with the blue and black bezel, but that fully blue.
The Batman or the Batgirl?
The Batman's the Oyster, and the Batgirl's
the Jubilee. Yeah. I do like the GMT Master 2s on the Jubilee.
But I like the Jubilee bracelet.
GMT should have a Jubilee.
Yeah, I like the Jubilee.
Yeah,
bracelet.
I agree.
Oh, I see. They have the Oyster Steel. No. They're both Oyster Steel, but one is
Oyster bracelet.
Yeah,
so the Oyster,
this is the Oyster bracelet.
That's what I'm saying. Rolex is obsessed with the term Oyster. Oyster case, Oyster Steel, Oyster bracelet.
That's the waterproof thing.
Yep, the
that's
Oyster
the whole
case.
Fact that, that's from back in the day when now watches go underwater.
I told Mike we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, it's been 2 hours.
It's been 2 hours.
Yeah, geez.
But I was telling Mike the other day, I think what I'm going to do, because watches are like this meandering path.
Yeah.
Right, and you're like, ooh, this is shiny and this is cool.
Yeah.
I think what I'm going to do is just make like a list of like 5 watches.
Yeah.
And no matter what, not deviate from getting those 5 watches in my next 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just block everything else out.
So there's the question. How do you, there'd be a good takeaway from this. How do you focus on just a few? Because, I mean, if you're like me with watches and cars, everything's cool. Well, not everything, but just a select few of everything.
What don't you have is kind of in my mind the question you have to ask. Okay, I have like that IWC that I liked with the green.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, but I have one.
So I was telling them basically, like, and you saw it in my video.
Yeah.
I love U-boats. I'd love to have another one.
Yeah.
But if I have $3,000 to $5,000 to spend on a watch, I already have a U-boat. So I'd rather put that towards something that I don't have. Something that I want that I don't have.
Mike wants to diversify.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's kind of my thing.
Buy a Grand Seiko, the best value for money you can get.
I know. I'm going to tell you.
Get water.
I'm going to tell you. The only reason why I want a Grand Seiko is there's a Grand Seiko like 60th year edition watch that is
the high beat.
It's called the Superman. That's the nickname.
It's the high. They have the high beat automatic in those. It's the blue dial with the red second hand.
The nickname for the watch.
Yeah,
and as you can see, I'm kind of a Superman fan. So that's the only reason why I'd buy a Grand Seiko.
They're like $6,000.
Yes, they're like $6,000. So
for a Seiko,
a Grand Seiko.
So they put grand. Okay,
but again,
it's the worst.
It's not high on my list. I mean, I'd rather buy a Speedmaster. If I had $6,000 right now, I'd go buy a Speedmaster. I wouldn't buy the Superman.
If I were to buy a Grand Seiko, SBGA 211.
Yeah, I don't know much about them.
They call it the Snowflake.
Yeah,
that's about it though.
Yeah,
I feel like once you've had. You know what I don't like? Their entire catalog of sports watches look like trash. I'm sorry, but they their dive watches. Dive watches look like someone took a Seiko Turtle and slapped the name Grand in front of it in a spring drive movement, and they said, "Great, we're going to charge you $6,000 for this watch you could have gotten for $1,000."
Yeah, that's the thing.
Why? I don't know. No, but I mean,
I really want a Speedmaster because that's like a foundational piece.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I think after that, it might not be in a year, but maybe a couple years, I'm gonna get a Duetto JLC. That's
with the blue leather strap looks really good.
That's the one.
That's a good piece.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'll get.
Yeah, I mean Speedmaster.
Hopefully they still have it when I'm ready to buy.
Yeah.
They will, because nobody buys those because they're too busy buying Rolexes, which are.
I mean, I want to get a Speedmaster, a Reverso, an IWC Portuguese, I'm not
Mercedes edition.
You know,
The
I
Lake
think-
Tahoe. You know, like nobody can get a Lake Tahoe. I
Yeah.
never
Oh
see.
yeah, that
That
all
one-
white.
there was
that
a
white
run
on
on those.
white,
Yeah, the
right?
white on
yeah.
white.
Was that a ceramic case they did
Yeah,
on that?
Yeah.
I want a
Yeah.
Chopard watch. I've always liked them. The Chopard.
Yeah.
They're really good
I
looking
don't
watches.
like their. I don't love their styling, but I appreciate Chopard as a brand because they do
Yeah.
everything in house.
We went to
Everything.
we went to Luftgekalt.
Yeah. Okay.
In Indianapolis last year.
Yep.
And everything was industrial.
Yep.
In the bottle shop district of Indianapolis, and in this kind of abandoned warehouse, basically, they had long tail 917s and stuff.
Oh wow.
Like,
Yeah.
on like pallets, like wooden pallets,
Yeah.
and then Chopard had like a boutique set up in like behind the 917s.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, like I'm so like I'm not a big Porsche guy, but I was like I see like
Well, the 917 is a car that you have to like as a car guy.
Yeah, and I was
That's
like,
a great car.
yeah, and I was like, oh my goodness, like
Yeah.
I almost like want to buy one.
Yeah.
Like not a car, a watch.
Yeah.
Can't afford a 917.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to spend $15 million
$1
on a
Yeah.
917.
Right.
please.
And I was just like, man, that's such a good pair.
Oh, it'll
Yeah.
get you going. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
it
like,
gets you
oh, that's I
going.
gotta have it.
Yeah.
You're in the moment.
Sure. Oh yeah.
You know.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, Chopard gets some good moments.
Yeah.
Well, they made I went to the 20th anniversary, I think, of Amelia Island a couple years ago.
Wow.
The Amelia Island Concours,
Very fancy.
and they had the Chopard had a Amelia Island 20th anniversary watch. They only
Wow.
made so many of them, and they were like, oh, you can get it and numbered. And so my dad and I came close to getting matching Chopards.
Listen to this guy.
Wow.
My dad and I matching
Wow.
Chopards.
Wow.
Well, I'm starting
wow.
to get him. I'm starting to get him into the watch world. He only has like two really, really nice watches. He's a Breitling that he's had for years. I don't even know what it is. I think it's a Chronomat.
I love Breitling.
And then he's got a Rolex Deep Sea.
Okay.
Great
Sea
watch.
Dweller.
That's a 43
Yeah.
millimeter, beautiful watch.
Yeah.
Yep. And you could beat the living daylights out of that thing and it would still work.
You know what?
The
Before we
CEO of Rolex wears a deep sea.
Oh yeah.
It says a lot.
The before we wrap this up, I was scrolling through YouTube, and this guy was doing a review of his new sub,
Okay.
Rolex sub, just like yours.
Yep.
And he had it resting on the crown.
Oh,
That's
what a
great way to
dingus.
get yourself discredited as a watch reviewer.
And I said, I'm not watching this video because you're resting your watch on the crown.
You know what? Not that it would break it.
No, and he went
But-
into a whole thing
Yeah.
about how durable it is.
It is.
And about how ADs say to rest it on the crown because it's the least amount of surface area. If you rest it on the other side, you'll scratch the side of the case. And I said, this is about class. I don't care how it
Yeah.
looks like shit.
You're
and
gonna-
then
you're
I
gonna
saw all
scratch
these
the case.
I saw all these
Okay.
videos about how you should rest your watch on the crown so you don't scratch the case. I'm like, guys, first off, it looks horrible.
You should rest your hand on when you have a manual transmission car. You should rest your hands on the gear shifter while it's in gear. You know, actually, you should like push on it. That's what that's saying. Like you should rest your hand on a piece of functional equipment that's attached to the rest of.
I just feel
seems-
like you don't rest your watch on the crown. I don't know
It's
why
dumb. I don't
that's
like that.
in
That's
my
like the.
head.
You know what? That's the same category of people that keep the clutch pushed in when they're at a red light.
Yeah.
Instead of putting it in neutral
Yeah,
and leaving
just
the
let it
clutch
go,
go out,
yeah.
they just they
Yeah.
sit in gear with the clutch in. That's the
Yeah.
same demographic of people.
And I saw some other videos where like, oh no, the Rolex AD told me if I'm resting it on a table to rest it on the crown, and that the watches are built well. So and if
I
it's
don't believe
and if
anyone
it's
said
screwed
that.
in,
What are they going to say? This watch is not built well. Please buy it. Of
Yeah.
course they're going to say it's built well.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
and but
So
but for
dumb.
me,
Is that the way they say it? Land Rover dealerships.
yeah,
It's not
No.
built well. You should buy it.
but
Yeah.
like for
Buy
me,
another one.
like I look at the thumbnail of this video, and there's this sub literally laying on a
Resting
table
on the
the
crown.
crown,
Yeah, that's terrible.
and it just looks horrible.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't care if it's screwed in. I don't care how well it's built.
Yeah. You just don't do that.
You just don't do it. I'd feel it's like a classy thing.
It's
like
it's bad form.
yeah, it's
it's
not
bad
good
form.
for the watch. And for an AD to apparently say rested on the crown because it's smaller surface area and you won't scratch the side of the case, I'm like,
Stupid.
what are you resting it on? Gravel?
I think that's stupid.
I don't believe that an AD told someone to rest their watch in the crown.
Well,
I refuse to believe
and
that.
that's what he said. So I mean,
I'm sure he
listen,
did. I'm
you know.
sure he did. I can't. I just
And I
personally
don't
cannot
like to
imagine
get into YouTube comment arguments. I just said it's not classy. I said it doesn't look good. That's all I said. I don't care the paragraph about how well it's built and how the crown and all this. No.
I'm glad you spoke up.
Your thumbnail looks like you don't know what you're doing.
Did you say it under the TMPS account?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Yeah. I'm
yeah.
glad that you spoke up. Now, now they know you're not messing around.
Yeah. This like what
Yeah.
is this Mickey Mouse? That's
Yeah. Right. You love that.
we gotta get it. Is
Listen,
this
you
Mickey
don't
Mouse
understand.
T-shirts?
I know.
You don't understand.
You
I'm
want
a
me to?
watch professional.
I will. I'll get some.
We gotta get. All right, guys. It's been over. It's 2 hours.
This is one of our longer shows.
Very long.
Well,
but you know
Chris,
what?
Chris is very knowledgeable.
Very knowledgeable.
Very knowledgeable.
Trying my
So,
best.
Chris, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Hey, Mike, thanks for wearing a watch on the
I know.
our
Inaugural watch
yeah,
show.
our inaugural watch show.
I
Thanks for
I
bringing
have
the heat.
many watches. I can
He's like,
easily.
bring all your Cuervos.
Yeah.
Hey, I got my
This guy shows up in a hoodie with no watch. Look at this.
He says, "Bring all the stuff you got.
Yeah.
Bring all the heavy hitters."
I can't believe it.
Oh my God! All right, guys. Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We are definitely going to have to do some more watch shows. Jason, thank you as usual. Kona, you did very well tonight.
The pleasure was all yours.
And we'll see you next time on the Michael Papinchak Show.